I'm smoking on Bhutanese Shadow Garden grown Dark Evil pack. They watered this with the blood of 36 dragons. So purple it should be asking me, where's Ronald? This will turn your pacemaker off. Nuclear levels of sour, lung slaughtering, necromancer kush. Got diamonds on it, so you know the THC to CBD ratio is swag. A whiff of this yeah, that nefarious evil sorcerer Moongrass. This straight out of K-Lid. This is what shot Tupac. Rip my nigga for real, dog.
What's up, everyone? Good day from all of us to all of you. Lots of talk this episode about our adventures at the Connecticut Fishing and Outdoor Show at Mohegan Sun this weekend. Jerkbaits and jerky with a bunch of jerks, you might say. Myself and Sean the Fisherman have provided some shore leave for our finny friends. Bait of the Week this week is a common brand that we all picked up at the show, and more to come on that. FTG, it's a courtesy of Joe this week, who had an excellent lodging experience that he would love to share with you. All sorts of tourney news for you and yous. And in this week's interview, we got a two-shot from two of MAKB's newest directors, Anthony Campbell and Patrick Brown. Turn your head to the right and cough when we tell you, because this week's Jigs and Bigs, we're going, hold on.
You know, we're going deep.
I don't know what to say for myself with that. That was a long intro, but I feel like it was 100% worth it. Welcome, gentlemen. The weekend is about to end, and I think we ended it we're doing just fine as we roll into this show recording.
Yeah,
that was.
I agree.
Thank goodness somebody agreed. Big congratulations. Today was a special day for, you've heard us mention Tim O'Keefe on the show. Tim O'Keefe is a member of MAKB West, and he and his wife Cindy, they celebrated today with a baby shower, and yours truly provided some entertainment there, and Sean the Fisherman, also a guest, as well as many other familiar faces from the fishing community coming out there. So congrats to those crazy kids. What a day. And I am drinking some of the goods that come from the brewery where this event all went down. I'm drinking, this is called G-Fresh. It's a grapefruit, New England style IPA. It is wonderful. For those that want to know. How's everybody's
I'm just doing the old fashioned tonight.
You're smart.
Wife makes a fabulous old fashioned.
You're smart. You got a good one. Let's see. We got some jig heads in the house here. We got Jay Manning he says, oh, he just took a power hit too.
Me too, brother. Hell yeah.
We got Mike Mariani in the house, the one and only Ditch Pickle Tickler. He says, good evening. We got Fishing in the Sticks. How we doing, Fishing in the Sticks? We got Vidal with us too. Evening, gents, he says. Wow, we got some folks from all over the place. I'm expecting to see more jig heads popping in here. This is about that time of year where these shows get to be a lot of fun because everybody's mind is fully on fishing. You know, everybody's mind is all just, everybody's full of it. They're ready to go. And that's good stuff for everybody. Let's go through our weeks. Who here had the least shit going on this week?
I think Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start first. So
yeah.
I worked, but got out of work Friday, where I took off from work on Friday, headed out to Mohegan, and we'll go there. You know, that's a whole nother story that we're going to hit later. And then today, I finally, I don't know if you guys, this was from months ago, we kind of redid our living room, and we had a custom mantle made that's about 235 years old from it was actually taken from a piece of lumber at the old Mystic Seaport.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so we had that custom made, and I finally was able to put it up today.
That's
so
cool,
man. I'll have to send you guys a picture. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And then we put up our greenhouse today. So
it's that time of year, man.
Greenhouse.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to live off the land, man.
I got crocuses popping up in my backyard. I almost danced a jig. I was so excited. I'm like, it's game on. There was talk that we were going to get snow locally on Saturday. We got a ton of rain. I'm okay with it. I'm 100% okay with it. I know my internet is going apeshit. We got a couple other folks joining us. We got Binya Outdoors. What's Binya got to say? Dude, I tried to go fishing today. Epic fail. I'll fill you in later. Oh, I love a good story. And we got Gravy Fishing says good evening as well. Gravy, how you doing? Man, Sean, how was your week?
A lot of prep. So I past week or so, I've had every fishing item I own out on my dining room table. Wife's cool with that.
Yep.
We have another place we can eat breakfast. So this is kind of the bigger table we use for gatherings, etc.
Yeah.
So I put a tablecloth down on that, and just everything's out there. And really, I had a couple things to prep for the show with Three Bells. Did that, knocked that out, and other than that, a boring week. Like, this is the first week I haven't had a ton of doctor's appointments. I haven't had a bunch of shit going on. It was get the kids to school, come home, straighten the house out again. That's an important thing in my life. Is my wife appreciates if I'm going to be out of the house being clean.
Yes.
So I do my shit, dude. I take care of my business.
There you go.
I did have another bit of prep work that went completely fucking haywire. That I think I'm going to save for an FTG addendum today. We'll talk about that in a minute. You guys know what this is about.
Oh yeah.
A little unhappy right now. Other than that, it was Friday at the show, working with Three Bells pretty much all day. Saturday, I was there most of the day. I had to leave my nephew's 2-year-old birthday. Second birthday, so
nice.
We went to that. And today, I first time in a long time, I fucking slept in. Went to Tim and Cindy's baby shower. Man, I had problems with my phone during trivia. And you came up afterwards. You're like, what's going on? I go, I don't know. I kept getting booted. And we you talked to me, said, hey, check this setting. I said, I did. I reset my phone, blah, blah, blah. I had no problems after that. But you said, dude, I was checking out the cards. You may have won bingo. I go, I didn't even see my fucking card. That's how fucked up things were.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I was not happy, especially with a 100-point last question bonus that went by the wayside. It sucked, whatever. But food was great atmosphere. That Fort Hill Brewery is a great place to have any sort of an adventure. That place was awesome.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That might actually be a really nice idea for like a tournament event, over happening on the Connecticut River. Meeting up right there because it's right near Oxbow. It's a good spot.
Okay. Never mind.
Yep.
As I was going to ask if it's anywhere near Oxbow.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
Right around the corner. Yeah, it's pretty badass.
It's about what do you think? 20-minute drive, 20 to 25-minute drive from the Oxbow? Probably.
I'd say definitely no more than 20 minutes.
Like the ramp from the ramp itself.
Yep, from the ramp itself. You just loop right around. Nice. It's a pretty good spot. They have a nice thing going on. In fact, I was toying around with the idea, like maybe, the live show bug is kind of starting to rear its head. Maybe it could be a good spot to do something like that, where maybe we partner with a couple of food trucks or something in the summertime or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We got events, man. I'm telling you, events. I had a wild week. My week was absolutely nuts. It started out, Monday was actually pretty freaking dull and boring. I got, the show edited, put that together, and then got myself prepped, ready for work. I had all kinds of events this week. The only day I had off this week was Saturday. It was the only day. Every other day I had some kind of an event, either a residency event or I did a corporate event, and then the shower today. So it was wild. In fact, I did have a birthday party scheduled Saturday night, but they changed the structure of the party. They basically changed plans, went out of town. So it's kind of nice to get a night off. I had Tuesday. I went and I had a dentist appointment. Did all of that stuff. I had doing my thing. And I got to tell you, man, the numbers for this last episode are way up. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
In fact, like we kind of hit a little bit of a milestone. We're like getting close to a goal I had set a while back. We just this week hit 80,000 plays. 80,000
awesome.
plays, man. So it's been big. And in other news, our most listened to episode for the longest time had been the episode with Rachel Walker. And it has been overthrown by a little bit of a lead, probably about a dozen or so plays. It's been overthrown by the episode called Derby of the Damned, which is an episode where Sean chronicles that terrible tournament, crazy conditions, wind all over the place. Like, in fact, the winner of tonight's trivia game, his team, he took a dive in that tournament. Like, it was nuts. So it was that over at A1, Derby of the Damned. A lot of you guys have listened to it.
Last year's season opener.
Yeah, that's right. It was last year's season opener. Crazy, man. And
you know what A1 reminds me of? Bobby, have you fished A1?
Only one time, and I am in love with it.
So A1 reminds me of those old traps back in like the Vietnam War where they'd like dig those holes and put the spikes down.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
Because Sean knows what I'm talking. Yeah, Sean knows what I'm talking. There's so much like crazy timber in there.
I always describe the main windblown section, the not the northern,
yep.
It's like the western section of A1 as an Indiana Jones spike pit.
Yep.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah, same idea.
Yeah. Yep.
It really is. I mean, it's absolutely bananas, but there's no other place like it. I've heard that from a number of people, and yeah, I 100% agree. What did I do on Wednesday? Oh, I had a little bit of an adventure. I had an appointment on Wednesday with my barber, right? And my regular barber wasn't available, so I was like, for like 3 weeks out, I'm like, well, something's got to happen here. I got a little bit of a predicament because the guy who took my appointment instead, he did an amazing job. I am absolutely floored. So, like, do I break up with my barber? Like, what do I do? And they're in the same place.
That's tough.
I don't know what to do. I'm like, oh, God. I mean, like, just, it's good.
I went through that recently. I know what you're talking about. It sucks.
It's weird, I don't know. We'll have to
dumping your girl, trying to figure out how to dump your girlfriend.
It is. You're like, God, like, I don't want to ruin her freaking Christmas, but do I suck it up and then ruin Valentine's Day or New Year's? Oh,
no.
Yeah. So it's shitty, but it is what it is. But yeah, so that's this whole separate predicament that I got to deal with. But I remember at the swim bait show, I said that my main focus was, aside from picking up some mag drafts, was to try to find a storage solution for my big swim baits to keep them together. And ultimately, what I decided to do is I went over to Harbor Freight and I picked up one of those Apache waterproof, dustproof boxes, those containers. And it's kind of fun. I managed, they had it in a color that matches my truck, which,
I love that.
Then I've got, so I've got all my baits I'm working into there. I need to get some bonnets for these giant trebles because I don't want them sticking to foam and all that shit together. I want to try to keep them as nice as they can be. But this is what my plan is. Now my big swim bait day box will be that 3700 wide open box, so I can pick, the baits that I'm going to be throwing for the conditions or the water that I'm going, have my bases covered. I don't need to bring 8 wake baits. I can bring 2, something like that. So that way I've got a place to store them. So that's all set. The other thing, right after that, I went and I picked up this mass quantity of jigs and big stickers that we've got. And Joe, I've got some that I got to give to you. I was looking for you on Saturday.
I know. We'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah, no. I hear you. Sean got his, and what these stickers are for is if you guys see us out and say hi, and we'll hook you up with a sticker, and they're really good quality. In fact, I left a good stack with Abay Lures because their shop is going to be opening up soon, and they want to have some to put up on the counter. I was like, absolutely. So I hooked them up with a stack of those. They're good to go, and they're just like, everybody who's seen these stickers has said the same thing. They're amazing quality. Like, we could buy a cheaper sticker, but I don't know if I would want to. They're so good.
No, when I did all the research on those and they came back with the test samples and I found those that they were that thick of a vinyl sticker, I said, holy shit, these are never going to fall off a kayak. They're never going to fade. And I don't know of anybody's who has.
Yeah.
Have you seen any after a year or two?
Yeah. I've had some on my kayak for now 2 years. I mean, yeah, they hold up, man, to sunlight, to cold, they hold up to water. They're great. So I'm stoked with them. And there was one other amazing thing that happened this weekend was that your boy
caught some fish.
It's about time. I managed to get on 4 in total. Nice little multi-species day. I happened to go out. Actually, it was early in the week. It was on Tuesday, and I went out and I was throwing after our conversation of blade baits. I was throwing around a couple of different blade baits and just not having any good response with it. So I said, okay, screw it. Let's go ahead and we'll throw a finesse swim bait and see what happens. Well, I managed to hook up with a nice size rainbow trout. And this was like the fight of the day. It was fantastic. And just like got him right in the snoot, like with that finesse. I'm using these 6 Sense swim bait hooks. And because they've got the screw lock, they're unbelievable. I caught 4 fish in total that day. Bait was fine. And I was just throwing a 3.8 inch Kitech. Then I caught a largemouth, and then they just started to downsize. But it was basically I found them all over what would be a very, very low bed of weeds, and just dragging that swim bait erratically over the top, it would just get picked off. It was pretty good. I got 2 other bites, and didn't get them to the dock. But man, I am psyched. So these are the first 2023 fish I think I've caught. I think they're the first in mass, local. These are the first that I've caught. So I'm pretty stoked.
I thought you got on one before you left.
Did I get? No? Oh no, you're right. That pickerel. You're right. Yeah. That pickerel. Yeah, it was like 2 weeks beforehand.
Are you also saying that trout schneefed your lure?
Oh, that trout schneefed that motherfucker hard. Schneefed hard. Was just like, in fact, the bite, it was like schneef, and then it was like schneef. You know what I mean?
Schneef, bitch.
He hoovered that schneef.
Good schneefing. Nothing wrong with a good schneefing.
Yeah. Oh, great.
So I will say, like, kind of piggyback on that.
Yeah.
The trout stocking in Massachusetts is in full swing right now.
Mm-hmm. I think
everyone, the big one, you guys know I live very close to South Pond, which is probably one of the most heavy stocked, bodies of water. And they've already slammed it a few times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I think the Cape has already been, like, they've already gone through most of that area. And I haven't seen anything for the Pioneer Valley yet, but I'm sure actually it's probably on the site now.
Yep. So, especially for you guys, not to get in a tangent and get off track, but I'm actually on the site right now. And just so anyone knows, if you want to see where they've stocked trout in Massachusetts, just literally Google Massachusetts trout stocking. It'll bring you right to the site there on the mass.gov. But they're out in your area. They just stocked the shit out of the Westfield River.
Oh, no shit. Okay, good.
Yep.
Palmer. Manhan River. Yeah, I'm looking at it too.
Okay. Yeah. So, once
Granby got stocked. Yeah, everywhere.
That's
people
great.
People who follow the stocking truck. You guys know they always start east and head out, kind of go west from there. And they're out west already. So they're already, like I said, they're already like in their second round for South Pond. So
I see this shit. Like Onada got stocked last week, or Onoda got stocked. That's out in Pittsfield. That's the mountains are already getting stocked.
Yep.
All they need is a little opening, even on a lake with ice on it, and they can get the trout in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day, they used to just take a chainsaw, cut a hole and shove them in there and wait until, yeah. So
Congamon's been stocked. Congamon Junior's been stocked. Yeah. There's fucking fish everywhere.
Congamon Junior, man.
Yes. So for you trout guys, get out there. They've already been stocked. But again, the trout guys, friggin', this is like their Bible. So they probably
know. Yeah. I will say this though. If you were looking to throw rainbow trout patterns, Like that's a great time to do it, which is a perfect transition, Joe. You were even bringing this up because we all went to the Connecticut Fishing and Outdoors show at Mohegan Sun this last weekend in different capacities entirely. Joe made a weekend out of it. Sean was doing multiple days and he was working. And your boy just kind of like, just dawdled right in like, hey, what's up, everybody? It's party time. It's fucking Bobby. That's what happened. But in talking with over at Abay Lures at their booth over there, you got to look at this beautiful rainbow trout.
Yeah.
Glide
got it.
Yes.
Oh, how phenomenal is that bait? I wish everyone could see that right now.
Look at
he
this.
is an artist.
It is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So I am going to be throwing this, and I'm so glad that the stockings happened because now, yeah, exactly. I am going to be where there are rainbow trout, man. This is a great bait to throw. It's not crazy heavy either. So it's probably not.
Do you know what the weight is on it?
I was about to weigh it on Monday morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it I'm going to toss it on the scale. We'll see. We'll see how she is.
Mm-hmm.
But I was all over the place on this, and I'm gonna go ahead and start. I think what we should do is this. Let's kind of like do like a little haul about like all the crazy shit that we picked up and brought home like this from the show, and then we'll kind of give our 2 cents on it and everything. So one of the very first things that I had done, I stopped over at Abay, but I was in the process of just doing a loop, and it was a good loop. It was a very, very good loop. But man, I came across something I saw from probably 4 or 5 probably about 4 or 5 booth lengths away, and it caught my eye. And look at this for a perch pattern.
Very nice.
Yep.
Whoa.
5-inch hollow body perch pattern from Brian Mayo from Mayo Custom Baits. Yep. These will go great with a 7/0 belly weighted swim bait hook. I've got some ready to go. These are actually the same size of what I was throwing in at Chick, and it was just Caleb's specialty color. But I'm like, that the perch are going to spawn soon, and that's always a good time. So I picked up all the last of them he had in a 5-inch size. I was like, yeah, I think a 5-inch will do just fine. So we got these, and then I made my way back around over to Abay, and like I said, we got this beauty right here, but we also got this guy, which is a jointed. It's like a jointed lip.
I did see those, yeah.
But there's a tiny, tiny lip right over here. I guess it's a Megabass style blank, but. Yep. And Chris said, he's like, I want you to try this because this is the first perch I've done where the base was chartreuse. Like that is like nuclear. It is unbelievable. And I love the way that the black just kind of fades out like a shadow. It's unbelievable. Right. I'm wondering how this is going to go. I mean, it's very interesting. A lipless with a lip, a tiny, like the tiniest little square bill on here. And also jointed. And I guess that's the reason for the lip is that he says that it really just kind of kicks that tail off to the side.
Hey, Bobby, guess what?
What's up?
That trout bait is 2.5 ounces.
Oh, it's only 2.5.
Yeah,
okay.
I just asked them.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So this I could get away with throwing on. I wouldn't even need to throw this on my big setup, but I could. I probably will. And what else did I get for baits? Oh my God. So I want to talk about this, and Sean can chime in with this too. I went over to Beef Octane. Yeah.
Yep. Was that the truck?
Yeah, that was the truck.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool.
Now, I got to say, so Beef Octane does something very interesting. They have, first off, their artwork on their jerky is awesome. I picked up, this is their hottest one. It's the Mango Habanero Beef. And I'm going to give this a whirl. I actually probably in segment 2, I'm probably going to crack it open and just sample it. But what's really cool, and Sean pointed this out, and I noticed on the label that they have on there, they include a flosser toothpick. In
what?
Right? That was my wife's reaction. She's like, "That's amazing." Like It's just
it's the little things.
It is the little things. I'm like, holy crap, that's amazing. So one of the things, I mean, probably TMI, but one of the things that I'm doing at my dentist right now is we're just doing a deep clean with like this laser treatment, essentially just trying to grow back gum tissue. And basically, she was like, listen, she's like, I know everybody comes in here and they say that they floss twice a day and it's bullshit. And I was like, yeah, exactly. She goes, after you get done with this, you're going to have to, like, it's going to bother you because you're going to have this space in between, like where the gums are starting to develop, and you have to keep those clear. So I've been going through these all over the place, but I'm like, how amazing is that? You know, you have a snack like some beef jerky and you've got this right here. The other thing that they do, and at first Sean thought that this was a little bit odd, they do beard oil. Beard Octane is like the sister company. And I went over and I had a nice conversation with the truck and picked up this bottle of beard oil. That's their America scent, and it is wife approved. It's got apple is one of the scent notes in there, which is kind of interesting. I think it really kind of, because it's everything else I think is like wood based. This one, then it's got this apple that just kind of like sticks right out. It's nice. It's very nice. So then I made my way down. Where did I put that? Oh, it's right here. You know, I had to go visit Happy Gilmore's caddy. I had to. And I had to go to Fresh Baits, and I saw that they had the drop shot kits available. Actually, not only did they have the drop shot kit available, but they had a Ned Rig kit, and I think they also had a Nico kit or a Scorpion kit. I may be mistaken, but nice little setup. Like, and this is great because a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, what do I do with these baits? Like, look at the color array that's in this. These are all Fresh Baits Helamites, which, I mean, this is going to get, like, it even smells so good. I just opened it. Their plastics smell like so good. They smell like plastic, but that's just me being weird. I'm sorry, John and Tony. But I mean, they've got just like every color that I'll naturally think to go to, plus an exclusive, which is this like clear one right here. This clear Helamite.
I think, what are they? It's like pepper or salt and pepper. I think they're calling
that. Is that the name of that one? Salt and pepper? Because that's actually because of the black flake.
I was talking to Nate about it.
Yeah. That's a pretty good color. I'm like, this is pretty slick, especially like, you know, clear water. And I am working out the details about doing a little collaboration going up to St. Lawrence. Excuse me. I still can't get rid of this cough. It is ridiculous. But I am working on a little collab going out to St. Lawrence, and we're trying to coordinate it with, ideally, like if we can coordinate it with the Smalley spawn. And I'm thinking, you know, this could get a workout. Either with Ned rigging or drop shots. Like it's nice to have all this kind of in one space, you know.
Bobby, let's go do it in the Skeeter.
I'm not against it, man. I'm not against it. Let's talk. We'll see how it goes.
We will.
Yeah, that's actually a really, really good idea. I like that idea. And we'll put something good together. And then I had to hit up the Hookset Hoodlums booth. Had to. Walked away with 3 hats. I got my new annual fishing hat. Every year what I do with Hookset Hoodlums is I pick up like a trucker style hat that I'm going to basically just wear until it falls apart. That's basically what it is. And when these things are so disgusting, you know, if you fish with me in like late August, early September, you're like, dude, you got to get rid of that hat. That's not a good thing. And it's like, kind of like my little annual, like, good luck charm. So I pick up a hat, I just let it destroy it. But then what I do is I'll keep one for the year. That's like my going out hat. My wife hates that I say that, but that's what this boy is right here. I had the blue underwater robberies. I decided to go with the traditional, the olive green. Love it. It's beautiful. And then, what else did I pick up? A bunch of stickers too, so that I can decorate the new box for my swim baits appropriately. It was a good week. I can't complain. Hopefully you guys can't either. I'm hearing in the comments, you know, folks are talking about how their fishing's been going. Jerry's talking about going out east sometime this week to get out of the ice and snow they've still got up in the Berkshires. Let's see.
I'm trying to get some side notes from Bogley right now about Whitehall.
Yeah, well, Bogley says fuck Whitehall. And apparently they had 22 boats and only one limit. That's a bitch of a day.
Yeah, so it's so last year when I still had the shop and we had a tournament there. You guys are familiar with Jay Haskins of Bog Hog, but I think their bag was 22 pounds. They had a 7, a 5. It was insane.
Holy shit!
Yeah. I have pictures of it somewhere. I'll show you guys, but yeah, Whitehall can be. It's Have you fished Whitehall, Sean?
I have once hated it.
Yeah,
hated it.
Yeah. It was in the middle of summer though. It was overgrown and hellish.
Yeah. Is Whitehall, remember you did that first tournament and there was that one boat that the boat died or like they capsized or something?
Here we go. No. That was Singletary.
But, that's what that was.
Yeah, but here's a funny story about Whitehall in that tournament. So we had a kid, I don't even know who it was. We had a kid comes in, he takes his dad's boat. It's a wicked nice Phoenix, probably a year or two old. Okay. Real nice Phoenix. Yep. And so Sean's probably familiar with this. There's kind of like a channel to get out to the main lake from the boat ramp. Yep. It's very shallow, and it's that whole place is basically no wake. It's like I think the speed limit's 10 miles an hour because there's so many, shallow spots on it.
Yep.
This fucking that was a big thing. So Bogley just told me 3 people hit that shallow spot today.
Oh,
so we're like, hey, no wake on the way out, and it's not like. I don't give a shit. Like there's no houses or anything. So it's not because people don't want you to. It's because there's obstructions, there's hazards there. This fucking kid hammers down and nearly rips it. So you just see him ding, 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 ding. You see his whole bottom end just smash the bottom. And he, obviously lets off and cruises out. But, actually Nate was my, Shagnon was my partner for this, but
all right.
We see the guy later on trolling, and he trolls away, and he's got an oil slick behind his boat.
Ooh. Oh,
yep. I was like, yo, dude. I was like, hey, you got oil coming out the back, and he's like, oh no, it's good. I'm like, and Nate and I were just like, it's not good.
It's your boat, man.
Yeah, it's not even his boat.
Yeah, that's the best part. God
damn it, cow.
So Bogley saw that boat too, and he just texted me. He goes, "I've never seen a boat piss off so much oil so fast." And this kid was just like, "No, it's good.
It's good. It's fine. Yeah,
you probably should get out of the lake, dude. Like you're fucking pissing oil everywhere."
What a moron! What a freaking moron!
Yeah.
Apparently, Gravy has an FTG. Gravy, call that sucker in. We'll get it on for next week.
Yeah.
Apparently it has to. I'm not sure what all the deals are, what the deal is with it, but apparently this FTG has Chrissy Fishing all kinds of fired up. Oh, there's screenshots. Oh, this goes in deep. Maybe we might actually have to do like a mini series.
This might be a segment.
This could be
like a full set. Like,
my God. Oh goodness. What else did I do? Man, I think that's about it. Well, I will say this.
Still on Mohegan.
I did on the drive back. I had to stop and get some gas, and I decided, you know what? It's an opportune time for chips and a soda. So, Sean, you had mentioned the Kettle brand chips before at one point or another, right?
Nothing wrong with Kettle.
Did you ever mention the habanero lime?
I have. They're fucking great.
They're
not my
love them.
They're good. As far as Kettle goes, they're really good.
Yeah.
I think my favorite Kettles though are the salt and pepper. It's just
it's a classic. Yeah,
they just hit it right. Yeah, the habanero lime are good.
I like it because there's no fake lime. Like that's what it is. It's not like eating like, oh yeah, this is synthetic pledge, and whatever spice or whatever you have going on. Like I don't know. It was really really good. 2v2. Joe and Bobby versus Butcher and Sean.
Oh shit!
Oh, the gauntlet's been
in kayaks, right?
Oh God! Yeah, I was floored. I was blown away. I was like, I feel like Sean's mentioned these before, and I'm like, yeah, this is badass. And then I got home. I crashed early last night, thanks to, and I got to tell you guys, I'm not going to out who this is, but I was given a gift. I was gifted. You know that there was a cannabis show like right next door, right?
Yep.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we could tell on the Saturday.
Well,
there was, the two shows went hand in hand.
They really did. I was gifted at our show by a friend of the show some baked goods, you know, just as a little thank you. Hey, we appreciate you. Here you go. I got to tell you, the Queen Beef and I were knocked on our ass early last night. I think I brought the dogs out for their last trip out at like 8:30, and I was in bed by 9.
I heard about those. About those. I know where they came from, and I heard about them. And
I was
Friday,
like, well done.
Friday. Those baked goods made the rounds for a couple of vendors towards the end of the day, and my understanding is those vendors needed to retire a little early.
They needed a little time off. Oh man, there was also a discussion. There was a discussion over at the Abay Lures booth about a spot that I should check out online. And it's called Talk of the Town. And I've heard that these reviews are amazing. I may read them and leave them as an Easter egg at the end of the show if you're interested, because this is something. Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah. Well, maybe at the end of the show. I want to go through and rehearse these and choose the ones. And I want to cut the filler. That's what I really want to do. Let's see. What do we got here? Oh, goodness. All right. So I got the details via Instagram. Maybe we'll squeeze this in on FTG. We'll see. I'll have to screen it beforehand and figure out if I can put it together. I don't know if you can tell, but
I'm a bit of a train wreck tonight.
So I'm a little off from my regular self. That about sums it up for the show for me, as far as, you know, all of the goods that had gone. I was floored with everything that I saw there. I did go and throw $100 into a slot machine. And as you can tell,
I ain't got a boat.
That was my deal. I throw $100 into a random slot machine.
I was waiting for it.
If I won, I was buying a boat. I did not. But we're good.
Which slot was it, Bobby? Which one?
Stinking Rich.
Oh, okay.
I usually do pretty good at Stinking Rich. That little skunk bastard had me go. I thought I was on a little bit of a hot streak, and then he was like, "Nope,
you fail."
Would have been awesome if you were like, you came home with a boat. And Holly goes, "How much did you win?" You're like, $75.
That actually would have been fucking hilarious. It would have would have been more funny. Would have been the divorce followings that would have happened. Yeah.
You sleeping on one of our couches would have been awesome.
Oh yeah. No, you know, I mean, that's the thing. It's sort of, in a way, that's what truck camping is for me, is prepping. You know, if I ever get kicked out, I can sleep in the back of my truck at my storage unit. You know.
Excellent.
So a little side. You know, we. For people who don't know, we're like constantly getting texts and shit as we're doing this show from people, like side talk and stuff. But Bogley did say that tournament today, the big fish was 698.
Oh wow!
So Whitehall's got donks.
Today was just not the day. Although there was a nice little cold front that had gone through too. I'm not surprised they were a little turned off.
Yeah, I'm curious what the he'll send it to me, but I'm curious what the water temp is right now. What's a water temp, Bogley?
Low 40s is my guess.
Yeah.
It's 45 degrees right now.
Wow.
Thanks, Siri, fuck off.
Was that me? No, that wasn't me.
Asking you. It was you?
No, it wasn't me.
Oh.
Yeah, that wasn't me. No.
It was. I just saw the thing. I think that was me. What's a water temp? No, it wasn't me. Fuck it.
Oh, okay. This is some shady shit. This is FTG worthy right here. Coming from Gravy. That's some fraudulent bullshit.
As long as it's fishing related, let's hit it.
Oh, it is fishing related. Yeah, we'll throw it in there. We'll see what we got here.
47 was the water temp.
Yeah.
The other two options for FTG are us me and Joe bitching about stuff, which
is, I mean, there's always value there, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Always value. So
I got to tell, even if it's not the FTG, I got to tell my story.
Oh no, definitely. Yeah. We'll squeeze it in the FTG. We'll beef up that. We'll beef up that second segment with no issues, but man, what a crazy week. We had a good interview this week though, with our two guests. That was a lot of fun. And then I've got, I just recorded with, AJ Bodwin, who owns, Battlefish Charters. He does a guide service where he does like kayak. I think he said like up to 12 or 14 kayaks. It's a big operation. And then he does ice trips too, which got me thinking, I think that we need to plan for next winter going in like setting up. And I in my mind, and actually this would work out with what he's got going. He does these overnight like ice shanty camps where you know, set them all up. He sets everything all up and everybody's there, camp all through the night, fish through the night. Like the number of tip ups is ridiculous. Like what he says that's going on.
Yeah.
But I think it would be awesome to set up and record.
You two guys take some pictures of that and send it to me. I'll be in a nice warm basketball gym. Thank you very much.
It's crazy. That's something I've always wanted, because I'm not a huge ice fisherman.
Me neither.
I go out and I have some fun. I'm not one of these guys that, like, some people, that's all they want to do is ice fish. Like it's like us who during the winter, we're like, oh, I just can't wait for the spring. I just can't wait for the spring.
Yeah.
But during the standard fishing season, you have these people like, oh, I can't wait for the ice. I can't wait for the ice.
Yeah.
And, you know, but staying on the ice in, like you said, like a shanty that's something that's kind of like a bucket list item for me.
I think it could be kind of cool. Like I was thinking, let's go and do this like in like, you know, North Dakota or some shit like that, or like some crazy frigid temperatures.
Yep.
Like we're driving out to the Airbnb type thing, you know?
Yep.
But if we can do this even closer to home, I mean, you're talking about the Saranac Lake area, you know, that's pretty badass. And a great place too, to like just recreate. I think that's pretty awesome. So yeah, I had a great conversation with AJ. I got a bunch of other guests coming up that we're going to be featuring, all kinds of good shit that you guys are not going to want to miss out on. But anybody got anything else for the rest of this round? The rest of this segment?
Yeah, Bobby, you kind of skipped me and Joe's adventures at the fucking show.
You did.
I did. Okay, all right.
You are a train wreck.
I am Joe, a train wreck.
Why don't you go first? I'll wrap it up.
All right, I'll go first. Yeah, so I went out. Like I said, I stayed. I won't get into the juicy stuff until the FTG segment. But no, I kept it kind of cool on this one. I just it was just kind of mingling, saying hi to everybody, doing a lot of stupid gambling. But I went in there, just I hung out with the hookset guys. I wanted to, if they needed help and stuff, I wanted to be there for them, obviously, because they've done a ton for me in the past, and fresh baits as well.
Yeah.
But they had it pretty locked down. So it kind of turned into just, exploring the show a little bit. It was actually, and I know I've talked to at least Bobby on this off the air. But the last time I was at that show was like pre-COVID, and I wasn't impressed. I was not impressed by it. And Meg was, and my wife was with me at that time as well. And so we were kind of nervous. We were kind of nervous about how the show was going to be. And I was actually, it was a much better show than I anticipated. It was not bad. It was a pretty good show. Some pretty good vendors. We've all been kind of going to the shows all season. So it's all this, a lot of it are the same people that we've been seeing, essentially all winter. But, so I didn't get crazy. I didn't really purchase much because I've already purchased so much shit at the shows this year. But mine was a lot of mingling. But then I was there for a couple days. So lots of gambling. The gambling addict in me, comes out once in a while. My wife hit the slot. I actually, something I don't do a lot is the slot machines. And I did a lot of them this time. And I did that like live video blackjack for the first time. It's the one where it's on the video.
Yep.
But they have the dealer doing it. I ended up a little bit on top, but I had to grind for it. It was tough.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I like I said, I hung out the Hookset boys. I went to myself and Meg went out to dinner with Bill, his wife, Ken and his wife, as well as I believe it was Ken's sister and her husband. Yep. Nice. And we went to the Tao restaurant there. We had a blast there. We had a really good time.
Nice.
It's just, getting the wives together, us, Bill is the fucking funniest guy, man. We just laughed the entire time. Like my belly hurt from, in my cheeks from how much he made us laugh. But, yeah, we did that. And then, that was pretty much it. Just, enjoying the show, seeing everybody. My biggest thing on this show is just being able to, because we're all going to be grinding and busy fishing. So I want to make sure I can see everybody for at least one last time before it starts rolling.
No, that's a good. And actually, it's funny when we were over at when I was over at the Hookset booth, I had said to Mrs. Wild Bill, I said, if you guys are ever doing, I said, I know what you're going through. Well, how much of a challenge it can be to be married to this guy. I said, if you guys are ever doing like a vow renewal or something, let me know. I'll put a couple of lines in there. I'll get you a couple of clauses and things that'll work out for you. Real nice. Get you all set up. But man, yeah, the whole Hookset Hoodlum fam is amazing. I didn't realize that this was a thing. I saw Andrew. I bumped into Andrew there, which I didn't realize it was a thing. I was like, oh man, you made it. And apparently there was a thing where it was like he was either late or something happened. So I missed something else. But I triggered a whole thing. It was nuts.
Yeah. He had a kid sick at home. So he was kind of, so
he's running back and forth. That sucks.
It's funny you say that. Cause like when I owned the shop, I didn't meet Ken for like the first year. I was like, does this dude even exist? I was like, is this a real person?
He's like, what was that show? Quantum Leap. He's the name of. Oh.
But their wife. That was the first time I really was able to really conversate with Bill and Ken's wife, and they're such phenomenal people. They're such good folks. My wife loved them, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
And it's funny too. Like I was talking with Andrea and Jay Navolo. I bumped into them. That just further down from the Hookset booth, and we're talking, and she was like, "Oh, we were wondering if we could see you over there at the Hookset booth." We're talking, and I mean, like, I'm so amazed at so many people get into apparel, and they do it, and it's like, cool, yeah, there's shirts or there's this, but like they've really put out a full line of like amazing products, and like they really do everything that they can to make sure that the message that they put on the products, they're like trying to be that example of it. So you can see that in the pro staff. And I mean, are there some savages in the pro staff? Absolutely there are. But that is part of what makes Hookset Hoodlums Hookset Hoodlums.
And the biggest thing is they all design their own shit. They come up with their own creations. Yeah. They're not outsourcing or anything. All that shit you see on their hats, hoodies, shirts, that's all coming from their head. That's what's so great about it. Yeah. That's all their own. And I know Ken designs a ton of that shit by hand, like himself. He's just an artistic dude and it's phenomenal that they don't outsource any of that shit and just do it right in house.
Yeah. So when you're buying from a company based, in Connecticut, everything's happening right in there. Yeah, it's pretty badass, man. So, Sean, walk us through your experience.
I had a little bit, like I said, a little bit different experience than everybody else. I had to work the Three Bells booth, which was awesome. Friday, it was a much smaller group of us together at the booth. Myself, obviously, Lauren was there, and Tyler Sweet was down working with us. Tyler, I get to see probably once or twice a year, sometimes at EKF events. He's more of a national angler, so he fishes a lot of KBF. I think he jumps in on Hobie every once in a while. Yep. But seeing Tyler's great. He was there, and obviously when I first got there, it was a little dead. It was Friday, the start. It was starting. People were starting to come in the doors, but there wasn't a line like on Saturday. So I got to go around and mix and mingle. Obviously, first stop, Abay. They were directly across from us. Talk to them, and we'll get into them on Bait of the Week. But always a great experience seeing Chris and Christina. Made sure to stop in at the Hoodlums booth. At that time, actually, believe it or not, Wild Bill wasn't there. He got there a little later on Friday. I got to see Andrew and Ken both, and no Bill for a little bit, so got to see him later. Obviously, Berkshire Bass, you got to say hi to Spencer.
Oh, of course.
Yep. Stopped in and said hi to Fresh Baits Dude. They had Nate in there as a voluntary / involuntary worker all weekend, so he was helping them out. And who else did I stop in to see? Fresh Baits. There's one more. I'm missing one. Oh, we made some new friends this weekend.
We did.
As you said, Bobby.
Yes.
We made some new friends. Heather over at I didn't meet her husband. Her husband was there on Saturday, I didn't get a chance to go over there. I met Heather on Friday from Beef Octane. So really with me, I don't really buy a lot of shows anymore because I know what I'm getting. You know, occasionally I'll get something here or there, but really, again, we'll talk about some stuff in Bait of the Week I came home with, but I bought some jerky. And then I talked with Heather for a little while about jerky and getting it to outdoorsmen. So I'm reaching out. That is another prospective sponsored partner, shall we say, for the Jigs and Bigs and Chronic Trips tournaments. They were interested in getting some jerky out to the people. So we'll see on that. Also, Fresh Baits was too. So we'll be talking with them too. So we got a couple little, pending items, shall we say, for these tournaments. And again, just making sure that the people that are fishing them are in good shape.
Yep.
Saturday. So I came home on Friday night after I actually grabbed dinner with Chris and Christina from Abay, and then came home, woke up early, got there again. Saturday was packed. We were humping at the Three Bells booth. It's always great to see people coming through. We weren't humping, Bobby.
Okay, all right. Okay,
we weren't humping each other. We weren't dogs. I've been neutered. I'm good. So we sold a lot of shit. Some kayaks, a lot of accessories. We did really well. I don't know how they did today, but I'm going to talk to Lauren and see what the grand total was for sales excellence for the Three Bells crew. And I left a little early yesterday. I had my nephew turned 2, so we had a birthday party.
Nice.
And then you know what I did today?
What'd you
fucking
do?
Slept in.
Good for you, man.
I did. I slept in, and then here's where shit got real weird. On a whim, I looked at the calendar, saw we didn't really have a lot going on in my house on Saturday, and I decided to jump in on a tournament on Saturday for MAKB.
Yep.
So that just made my timeline of get my gear ready from 2 to 3 weeks to Thursday. So I am today. Dude. All I did today was line the rods I needed to line. Started going through my hard baits. I did take 3 hours during a couple of the NCAA games the other night and went through my database from last year. Did my analysis. Said what am I keeping? What am I not keeping? What has been a paperweight in my bag of shit? And what has been useful? And then obviously sprinkling some new things in and seeing where that takes me. But I'm getting ready. My rods and reels are ready. My tackle's about half ready.
Yep.
And my boat we'll talk a little bit about in
FTG. Yeah.
The FTG addendum is dedicated to some third-party folks from my end that, man, they almost came through. We'll see how the week turns out.
Turd party.
Yeah, turd party is right.
Turd party. Oh.
But yeah, really, this has been Pedal the Metal preparation. I would like to throw in one thing, Bobby.
Fire away.
Got on another finny friend today.
Yes.
I did take a few minutes. Once I was lining the rods, I was taking them outside, making sure they were casting all right, which is always dangerous with fluorocarbon, but I'm a fucking
risky take. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But I did get out there. The last rod I brought out there was my spinning rod that I lined with mono, and I just had a jerkbait tied on. First one I grabbed, and again, we'll talk about some Abay stuff a little later on. But I bombed a 6 cents jerkbait out there and got a massive 11-incher. Smoked it. And that was my day. Nice. That was my week. Now I have a lot of prep to do between now and Thursday. It's going to be a little intense, but I did luck out. Now this tournament's on Cape Cod. That would normally be a 2.5 hour ride.
Yep.
Then, an hour before the tournament get there, plus 8 hours of the tournament, plus another hour dicking around, and then 2.5 hour back. That's a long day.
That's a long ass day.
Thankfully, one of my high school buddies lives out in the area. I called him up immediately when I got into the tournament and said, "Hey, look, you mind if I couch surf on Friday night?" And he said, "All yours, buddy."
That's awesome. That saves a whole lot of fucking stress and driving.
Yeah. Saves me probably about 2 hours of driving, to be quite honest. So I'll be out on the Cape on Saturday morning. That'll be fun. But
that's awesome,
it's good stuff. Looking to kick off the season a little early. I had the day. I said, fuck it, let's get out there and really fuck my arm up and undo all the rehab I've done in the past month.
So I, as you were talking about your conversation over at Beef Octane at the truck, I had torn into this bag of mango habanero. And
good.
This is, it is wonderful. It's got some bite to it. This is probably too hot for most people. It's really, 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 really tasty. And it's sweet with the mango, you know, but it's got some kick on the back end.
You're saying that you like it a mango?
I'm saying I like it a mango, and I like a little bit of kick in the back end.
Sounds like a Friday night.
It is a Friday night. With that, I think we're going to go ahead and call this segment a wrap for now. We will see you guys in just a few minutes. Don't go too far. Hey guys, Bobby Roast Beef here from Jigs and Bigs. You know, if there's one thing I can't stand spending money on, it's on something that's not versatile, something that I can't get a lot of use out of. I want to talk to you about Frost Buddy. What Frost Buddy is it's one of those can coolers. I've seen these before. In fact, I have some that are limited to only fitting one specific size of can, like a standard 12-ounce can. I stumbled onto Frost Buddy, and I was blown away with it. So versatile. Fits standard cans, tall cans, slim cans, and even 12-ounce bottles. And the magic is the insert fits all of these items in various stages within the insert. And when you take that out, you can fit a full 16-ounce tall boy can. In fact, it even doubles down on being versatile with the coffee lid. And on my recent trip to Chickamauga, I had a field day with this thing. I was throwing beer cans in it. I'd have coffee in the morning. On the drive, I was throwing in all different sizes of cans for different canned coffee products to keep me awake on the long drive back. The thing was amazing. So I recommend you check out Frost Buddy. If you're in the market for either a travel cup for your coffee or a can cooler at all, either one of those, check it out. For the money, you cannot go wrong. What I've done is this. In the show notes for this podcast you're listening to right now, if you look there, you'll find a link to Frost Buddy where you can get yours. And not only can you go and get your Frost Buddy there, but you can help out the show as well. Go and visit that link in the show notes to this podcast. Check out a Frost Buddy. Tons of colors, tons of patterns, all kinds of great stuff. And it's a great spot to put your Jigs and Big sticker too. Take it from me, Bobby Roast Beef. You're going to get the most versatility out of this one product, probably out of anything you're ever going to buy, especially for anything that you're drinking. Frost Buddy. It works for me. I'm a happy guy. Jigs and Bigs wants to take a moment to say thank you to our partners for helping us continue to push the limits of our fishing adventures and bring you amazing long-form content. For all your premium kayak needs, we partner with Three Bells Outfitters, located along Smith Cove in Niantic, Connecticut. Three Bells is your go-to location for kayaks and accessories from Hobie, Native, Bonafide, Jackson, Yak Attack, Naqua, Boondocks, Burley Pro, and many more. Financing options are available to upgrade you and your kayak fishing experience. White glove delivery service is also available. Visit threebellsoutfitters.com for more info, and don't forget to tell them that Jigs and Bigs sent you. When it comes to high-quality polarized sunglasses, we've partnered with Torrej. They provide stylish sunglasses in a variety of frames that are light and fit comfortably on your face. The polarization cuts glare and allows you to see the whole picture, helping you identify what's below the water's surface. They have a 60-day risk-free trial, lifetime warranty, and free shipping. Plus, you can save yourself 10% with the code JIGSandBigs10 at checkout. Visit Torrej.com to check out their selection. That's www.torege.com. Again, we cannot thank our partners enough for their support. Please consider supporting them and supporting the show in the same process. Thanks. You know, I do really have to say, this Beef Octane Mango Habanero has some significant kick. Like, they should partner with local breweries just because, man, it just keeps you drinking, you know? Holy shit. This is really fantastic, man.
It's fucking you up or what?
No. It's a good. These are. If you could see my nipples, you'd understand. You know what I mean?
Face looks a little red, Bobby.
If you could see these nipples.
It's fantastic. Let's go ahead and this FTG is going to kind of take us all over the place. I think I should chime in. I think we're going to go with the user submitted info first. So this is pretty messed up. Gravy had just sent us this via Instagram DMs with some screenshots. He goes, this guy, apparently there's a guy who is driving to every Walmart. He's buying up rods from clearance racks and then selling them for double the price, if not more. Even mentioning that he went to Walmart to find more to sell, which is, I mean,
fair enough.
Shitty to do, man. Like, wow, holy shit. I suppose it's a delivery fee. But so he sent me a screenshot of a conversation. He goes, he's like, selling each selling for $37. Each also have the green ones. He says they look a lot like the same. Gravy says they look a lot like the same ones I saw at a local Walmart for $13. He says, I'll get back to you. He goes, I know you have to find them. That's the hard part. He goes, I found 2 at Walmart today for $13. I guess I was lucky. Thanks anyway. He says, which Walmart? I was out your way and I didn't see any. And he left the location, and that's the end of it. But some of the ads that he's got right here, like he's got them all lined up.
Yeah.
All lined up so everybody can see them.
So I can kind of chime in on this one from being a former shop owner.
Yep.
That shit happens a lot.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
Because Walmart's such a big place to where they just they can liquidate shit just to make room. And I'm going to really make some people sad. But a lot of times when you see the big booths at these shows, that just kind of seem like they're selling a shit, not so much clearance stuff, but it's, there was actually one at Mohegan, but I don't know the name of it. I'm not going to mention it, but a lot of these people do that and, they bring it to the shows. I mean, it's business. I mean, it sucks for the consumer, but it's business at the same time. You know what I mean?
So he's selling the clearance rods, or is he going up and just buying every rod at Walmart?
He's buying what's on clearance, and then he's selling them at retail price.
I mean, that's
retail.
If it's already on clearance, chances are been sitting there for a while anyways.
Yeah, no, right. Absolutely. And that's the thing. They're able to kind of clear it. I get it. It's shitty because, and he's telling people, I got these at Walmart. Like, he's just not a good businessman. That's what it is. Hang on. Let's go. I want to jump in here.
You don't tell people where you're getting it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, it's his like business motto is kind of there, but he's like missing a few parts.
He definitely is. Chrissy chimes in.
Like,
she says, no, she's like, it's not fair. He went to all the mass Walmarts and bought them all. He has 150 plus, everything all on clearance.
What does it say which rods they are, Bobby, or anything like that?
Honestly,
details.
It looks like they're Abu Garcia. It really does. It looks like they are. There's a green blank in one of those pictures.
Yeah.
But I can see the tags on them. Oh, no. I guess it doesn't say Abu anywhere. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it's like for someone like Walmart, you don't even really see it like Bass Pro or anything. But for instance, like once something gets they're
all Luz and Shimano's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But even so, once something gets discontinued or something like that, they immediately,
like, they just
a lot of places will keep them on the shelves, but like the big places like Walmart, which aren't fishing specific, they'll throw that shit on clearance immediately. They'll just see like, oh, this is discontinued, to throw it on clearance immediately because they just want to try to fill in the space. But it's I know Chrissy and Eric are gonna be so mad about this, but I'm kind of on the fence. I'm kind of on the fence with this one.
I mean,
being a former shop owner.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, there are people who will buy and resell stuff all the time. Like, you see it all the time with, like, people will buy just lots of Amazon returns and then sell them for basically whatever they can get for them. And it's all about buying a lot of something and then selling it for any type of value whatsoever in hopes that you're going to tip it so that way you're now profiting on, what you've got. You've made back plus on, on whatever. But I mean, it is kind of shitty. I definitely think I see Chrissy's statement on it where they're all on clearance. He's buying them all and then doubling the price and then selling them. It's just shitty because, anybody could have just gone to Walmart and got them on clearance anyway, But I get it. First come, first serve.
And again, this is the business side of me coming out because as many people know, I owned one. And so think of it this way. Just let's say it's a Black Max combo, right? Yep. And I'm just going to throw out a certain price. Let's say they originally were $20, and obviously that's not true, but let's just say $20, and Walmart put them on clearance for $10.
Yep.
So you go in and you buy 150 of them at $10, and then sell them for $12.
You made money.
You know what I mean? You're making $300 right there.
Yep.
It's I mean, the guy, he's on the right track to. Do a little business, but don't tell people how you're getting them
exactly,
because that's when it's gonna piss people off.
Oh, exactly, yeah, because then they know that they're buying Walmart's clearance that you just happen to be there first for.
Yep. So I know. Again, Eric and Chrissy, I'm sorry, I'm kind of on the fence with this one, having owned a business at one point, but
yeah. Wow.
That's all I got to say about that.
Central Massachusetts fucking justice right there. Oh, God, I love it. Oh, all right. So next FTG, there's an addendum. No. Wait, hold on. This is the juicy stuff. We've been waiting for this for a while.
The juice. Joe, give us the juice.
All right. So here's my FTG. So as many people know, I went, as everyone knows, I went down to this show down in Connecticut, Mohegan Sun, and the wife and I were like, hey, let's make this a weekend. Let's we were kid free. We had a dog sitter. So we're like, let's get a room for a couple nights. And we splurged and got a room right at Mohegan. And for people who have stayed there, they are not cheap. I mean, you're looking at one night was $300, the other night was like $350. So we get in there, we look in, we're like, oh yeah, this is a pretty nice room. We go down, we do our thing, and we do our thing. We come back up, late at night, and we settle down, we get into bed, and we realize that this is one of the worst fucking beds, and the pillows were some of the worst. I've stayed in a lot of hotels in my days, being militaries, all over the place. And I would have taken that $60 hotel room over this $350 hotel room any night. Like, we did not get any fucking sleep because the bed and the pillows were just that bad. It was like those pillows that are like, I like myself like, a softer pillow that's like nice. And you kind of, your head cradles in there, kind of cradles your head. But no, I put my head down. It was like straight down to the mattress.
Yeah. Yep. There's no support whatsoever. I mean? It's just suffocating you.
Yeah. And I'm like, and we both like,
I'm trapped.
We're like, what the fuck is this? Like, this bed is terrible. Like, it's funny. Like, Meg's like they must do this to get people to sleep like shit and then get up early to go continue gambling.
I agree. She's probably right.
Yeah. But it was like, it was so bad that we had originally reserved 2 nights, and we're like, fuck this. Like, we'll go Saturday night, or Saturday we'll leave and we'll go sleep in our own bed Saturday night, to where we, I was able to check out early on Saturday. As long as I did it before 11, I didn't lose any money or anything. So we did that, but just cause, we wanted to stay there, but like literally I was like, we were like, and Sean saw me Saturday morning. We were literally dog shit that morning because we didn't like do a ton of drinking. We weren't up super, super late, and we just felt like dog shit because we did not sleep for shit that night. And it was just like, you pay that much money.
I should have let you just borrow the 4Runner. You could have gone and truck camped.
I probably would have slept way better.
Way better, yeah.
And I'm not like saying like I'm not trying to like sound bougie or anything like that, but like I've stayed on like I'll go stay in a Red Roof Inn for $60, $50, and their beds are dope. I'll sleep way better in that thing. And so yeah, that's my portion of the FTG because I was just pissed about it, putting that much money down and just having such shit for a fucking sleeping amenities.
Dude, it sucks that you say that because I got a hotel room there at that very Mohegan in 2018. I took my my oldest for his birthday, and we went and caught Judas Priest and Saxon there. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And you never know. Like they change out the furnishings like every like so often in there. So
yeah, and this is the first between, traveling around the military, my wife and I take a lot of trips. We travel quite a bit. And this is the first time ever to where I'm like, wow, that fucking sucked. First time ever to where like, Sean, and Sean can attest to this. It's like, we can sleep anywhere. Yep. You know what I mean? We
could try.
Yeah. And it's like, we'll get it done. But it's like, I was like, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what, but like this is fucking terrible.
It's freaking nut. I got a good little hotel story for you. So this is like 20 years ago. I stayed in Maryland, just outside of DC. I stayed at a Quality Inn, and this experience of this Quality Inn led me to this.
Quality Inn. The quality's on the sign, not in the room.
That's the way their slogan should be. But I got to tell you, like, this was like a $50 a night hotel room. Like, it was ridiculous. All of the bedding, there was right next door to a Waffle House. All of the sheets, everything smelled like maple syrup. I don't know why. I just pretended I was okay with it. I got a better night's sleep than it sounds like you did. At that shithole, I couldn't believe it.
I was in Volkfield, Wisconsin. It's a little it's a little camp out in literally nowhere fucking Wisconsin.
Yep.
And I literally stayed in a motel that had 6 rooms that was attached to a gas station. Right?
Oh.
And because for military, non-military, I went on a trip to play Op 4, which is there's a big training exercise going on. We literally just went there to play the bad guys. Op 4 stands for opposition forces.
Gotcha.
So I was literally there to just be the bad guy. So they didn't want us staying on base. They wanted us to be completely separate from everybody else. So they put us in this gas station motel, the grossest room ever, but the bed wasn't bad. I slept great. It was so dirty that we actually drove an hour and a half to the local Walmart to grab sleeping bags because we didn't want to use their linens. But
smart, yeah.
Other than that, the bed was comfortable. But I pay $350 to stay at one of the top casinos in the area, and I sleep like complete dog shit.
You get fucked at the drive-thru. That's what they do.
We have a jighead who's renamed Joe from Who the Fuck is Joe Brown to Bougie Joe Brown.
It's okay. I'm rather bougie. I think I'm probably the bougiest in this entire group. And I'll own that shit till I'm in the ground. Now we have an addendum to throw onto the FTG. This is nice. This is like a 3-course meal of FTG.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the name of the company out until my product actually arrives.
Yeah.
But my little FTG came in this week where obviously I've got the new boat, the new plastic coming. It's here. It's at the house. I had some time this week. I started. Let me reiterate that. Re-say that. Started doing the last gear addition for the live scope, right?
Yep.
And I started struggling because the diagram was showing 2 pieces of hardware that I could not find anywhere. I'm going, where the fuck is this hardware? I didn't see it in the box. I said, well, you know what? A couple of boxes were open. Maybe it accidentally got put in either the live scope box or the fish finder box.
Yep.
Neither were there. Plenty of adapters, all sorts of screws, bolts, this, that, the other thing. Not what I needed. This one particular item came from the third party that manufactures the post for the transducer. So I'm looking everywhere for this. Finally, I reach out to Three Bells and say, hey, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I can't find this thing. And if I don't have these two small pieces of hardware, I cannot physically connect the live scope transducer to the post. I cannot use this.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty much useless.
So after looking at the invoice, looking at the way that apparently and reverse engineering the way this company does business, the post goes out and it's standard for all models of Fish Finder or all models of live scope, all models of forward facing sonar.
Oh, okay.
And then they throw in any particulars to that model that you own. So apparently when the order, now Three Bells did the ordering for me. They did their job.
Yep.
They ordered, Ted put in the right number, said Sean's got this this Garmin model of a forward facing sonar. This is the model number. They were then supposed to, this third party company was then supposed to put some adapters and some particular hardware for
that specific unit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which they had one fucking job. They did not do it. So I have a gutted boat. Now I have a tournament in fucking 5 days.
5 days now, yeah.
Well, I got to get out of here on Friday. So there is a small chance that I might be going out to a big body of water with a brand new live scope that I just purchased. And I might leave the live scope transducer off and in the fucking well or in the hull of my kayak because I can't physically hook it up.
Yeah, exactly.
And this one piece of hardware it's something that I couldn't buy at a retailer. I couldn't buy at Home Depot. It's specifically manufactured by this company for this adapter. I'm actually being pretty cool about it right now because I think it's winging its way here.
Yeah.
I hope it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to find out tomorrow. And if they haven't sent it, I'm going to lose my shit.
Yeah. No, I understand that for sure.
Yeah. Shit. So that's where I'm at. So I have my FTG, my little corner of the FTG world this week.
It's like bubbling, simmering.
It's anonymous right now. It's simmering. I like that. It's simmering. It's bubbling. It's bubbling, baby.
It's bubbling, baby. It's bubbling.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what we're at for that. Soon to be coming. Fuck that guy, cross country style.
This is really good. We had 3 different levels of FTG. You know what I mean?
We did.
We had a questionable one early on. It was like the appetizer. Then the main course. We went right after the entire Mohegan Sun reservation, the entire organization. Essentially,
Joe Brown is not going to get satisfied until that organization is dead and buried.
Never mind. They're probably fucking fast roping onto my roof right now.
Maybe it's possible. So there's that, and then we have this little. It's like the bananas Foster. They haven't poured the liqueur over the bananas yet for the big flame eruption. That's to come. You just see like Cherry's Jubilee off in the back. Like it's on its way. It's
bubbling, baby.
And we'll find out.
Yeah.
I should not be allowed to use these voice effects. I really shouldn't. That is fantastic. I think we need to play some drums. I think that's what we need in our life.
We got some drumming. So this is a new one, all right? We're taking the drums in a slightly different direction today because Joe and I both are going to talk about the drums.
True.
We're going to talk. Joe and I were both at the Dothraki wedding. We didn't murder each other, nor did we fornicate. So that's a win.
Who got the invitation? Who was the +1?
Ooh, I got the invite.
Okay.
Joe's the +1 for now.
Can I say
Joe's a new guy.
I'm going to say something right. We're not going to get into this. I'm just going to say it right now, but I just started watching this show last night for the first time.
That's it, Game of Thrones.
That's all we're going to say.
Okay. Just so you're aware, I've never watched it. Well, I can't say I've never watched it. I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I read the books.
Yeah.
Which I found is it's like wearing a scarlet letter. If you say you read nowadays, like, I read the books. Oh, you read the books. Why are you smart? Why don't you sit? Yeah.
Nerd.
What the fuck?
How come you got a good report card and you got your own personal fan pizza? What's wrong with you?
You better than me? I actually got that from some coworkers in the past. I'm like, no, I was at a school and I read it. I don't know what I had some time. I read books. I don't know what the fuck. anyways. MAKB's first tournament, Eastern Division, starts it's a Saturday. So there's still spots open if anybody's interested in the state and you're a member, hit it fucking hard. Also starting Saturday, very important, Chronic Trips, baby.
Indeed.
Game on. The monthlies are back. Welcome, Chronic Trips. It's been open for registration for over a week now. We've already got 6 people in there. I'm sure we're going to get, well, I know, Bobby, you and I did a quick head count earlier. I think we got another half dozen at least. So we're trucking. We're trucking. It's April. We always get a good number in April. If you're interested in starting competitive angling and you want to learn how to do CPR without getting your balls busted, and more than likely, even if you don't finish in the money, we've got enough giveaways now. I think everybody's going to get something at this point. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of opportunities for great prizes, for sure.
Yes, yeah. You're not getting fucking a 3-pack of Walmart shitty crankbaits, or you're not getting some Walmart clearance fishing rod that some asshole's charging $75 for when it was on clearance for $6.
True.
You're getting some good shit. We actually had one of our sponsors that I kind of had to talk down. They said, this was amazing. They actually said, look, we want everybody to get something. We'll give away something for everybody who doesn't get something. I'm like, look, that's great, but there's got to be some incentive here. Like, we'll work towards it. So yeah, I'm the Grinch here. I took away presents for
participation trophies.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So
we're too old for those.
It's still going to be randomized to drawings. We're going to be good. And Binny Outdoors wants to know if we're giving away shitty Mohegan pillows. Yes, we are. And no, one of the sponsors that we're working with does not do anything with live scope. So we'll cover that right now. So yeah, we've got the 2 tournaments starting this weekend. Both are open for registration. And right now I'm going to pass it to Joe because he's got some boating news, some big boats, some glitter rocket news.
Yeah, so I'm a little behind the curve because, obviously this is only my 4th week recording you guys. So the one thing I'm gonna throw in here is we've talked about before, but Berkshire Bass Open tournaments. Spencer Cookson puts on a phenomenal tournament. I try to get into at least a few each year. So his first one is going to be April 15th on Lake Anoda out in Pittsfield, Mass. That's nice. Out in Western Mass. So it's about 620 acres of water. It's a 25 boat limit. And I will tell you that he fills pretty much every single one of his tournaments up. Again, it's 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. These prizes are based on a full boat limit, which he typically does. But first place is $1,300, and it goes all the way down to 5th place where you get $160, and then a little bit of everything in between. He puts on a great tournament, does a great job. Yeah. And for those who haven't fished Anoda, even if you're, you got that deep smallmouth game, you have that shallow largemouth game. There's a ton of, I've caught my biggest pike on rod and reel there. And as well as my PB smallmouth has come from Lake Anoda. So I love fishing that body of water. So yeah, it's definitely look into that. BerkshireBassin.com. You can, that's where you can go in, check it out, and register. If anyone has any questions about it, because again, I do fish them myself, and I do plan on being at this tournament, hit me up on Instagram at American Vet Fishing, and if you have any questions, and ask me.
I love it.
That's what I got about that.
I love it, man.
Kill the drums, Bobby. That's all we got.
See you later, drums. Bye. Drums.
Bye.
Oh, that was great. I think for segment 2, I think that about covers everything that we got there. I do have one thing that I do want to cover in segment 3. We're going to go ahead and take a short break, though. When we come back in segment 3, we've got our MAKB tournament directors for the Northern Division. We've got Anthony Campbell and Patrick Brown. Sean and I had a great conversation with them earlier this week. Awesome discussion, and I think you guys are really going to like it as well. That's coming up. And then afterwards, there's one thing I want to talk about. We got to organize a bar taco outing. That's on the agenda.
I just had one, but I can sure as fuck do another one.
Oh, why not? Taco. Why not? And I think we should, if we can, I think we should schedule it early, like a nice early lunch.
Dude, Sundays at 11. I'm not kidding. I've never seen that place that open.
Yeah.
For business. Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, I'm not against this. So yeah, we'll talk about that, but I'll pop up what's going on as far as I got lots of shit firing up here. But we're going to take a short break, guys. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. We've got our interview segment coming up. We're going to wrap things up on the back end of that, and we will see you right after this. Jigs and Bigs is your favorite fishing podcast, right? Why not show the world how much you love the show while directly supporting us? We have men's and ladies' shirts, hoodies, and a variety of hats. We even have a waterproof outdoor Bluetooth speaker so you can listen to your favorite podcast while out on the water if you like. Check out jigsandbigs.com/shop to visit the store and gear yourself up. If you really can't get enough of this show, consider becoming a jighead and joining our Patreon. It's a subscription that gives you exclusive access to recording sessions that allow you to engage with us as we record the show. We also have some exclusive content there just for our jigheads and even have some special promo codes. Space is limited, so join now at jigsandbigs.com. Finally, if you're local to our area in Western Massachusetts, consider checking out the Western Mass Fishing Report, posted weekly at northeastwildwoman.com. We have amazing contributors providing great content and info for local conditions and what's been going on and working recently. Jigs and Bigs, so much more than just two lightly roasted hippies trapped in the 90s arguing on the internet about fishing. We got a full goddamn house in here in the Jigs and Bigs interview segment this week. We got, I don't know what the hell, what are you doing over there, Sean? Lighting candles, setting the mood? Jesus.
What's Barry White on? I don't give a fuck.
A little bit of, what is this? I've got, okay. I'm getting a notification that I have to do a Zoom meeting now. I got to change those settings. It's a little behind the times. We got a good one for you guys. This week we have a couple of new tournament directors for MAKB, guys, of new divisions. Like, this is new shit has come to light is pretty much what I'm getting at here. We got Anthony Campbell with us. We also have Patrick Brown. You guys are running which division? Are you the Northern Division?
Yeah, the North.
The North, the Great White North.
Yeah.
And of course, because I know Dick about the tournament side of things, we've got Sean the Fisherman with us to kind of guide me through that sort of part of the interview and get into all that stuff. But first, welcome, guys. I'd like to start things off with a little introduction story. I'm a sucker for the origin story of every character that there ever was. So from each of you, I really kind of want to know, like, where did that passion for the outdoors in general, not even just fishing, but, primarily fishing, where did that passion come from, and how did it get to the point where I've seen what happens to these tournament directors for these tournament trails over the area. You guys are taking on a certain degree of punishment and face palming. I mean, if at the minimum, I've seen the effects. Yeah. Go ahead, walk me through that story with both of you guys.
All right, I'll go first. So I guess my passion came. My dad, I had two older brothers. I come from a divorced family. I saw my dad on the weekends, and I think he literally took us fishing by accident one day just to be like, well, it's something to keep these boys busy for half the day. And it literally from there on, both my older brothers and I, my dad, we fished every single weekend. We traveled wherever we could drive. We'd go camping, trout fishing, bass fishing.
Yep.
He'd literally paddle us around in his 17-foot aluminum Mitchie craft, three boys trolling out of it with
that's awesome.
Neps and Rapala floating minnows, catching crappie and pickerel and anything else we could catch. And to this day, my older brothers and I my brothers are out in Wyoming. They moved out there because the trout fishing was so good.
Oh, yeah.
And we all still fish our brains out.
That's friggin' awesome, man.
Did you say your dad paddled you
around?
Was he got shoulders like Dwight Howard?
He does now, yeah.
He's got shoulders like Liver King. He's like,
yeah, he's for real. Yeah, he paddled us around constantly.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's the way it, and that's the way I think it is for a lot of people. What about you, Anthony?
Kind of the same thing. My dad traveled for work when I was younger, and one of the guys he traveled with introduced it to him. He came home, bought me a spinning rod, a bucket of shiners. He took me down to the local pond. I caught like 8 bass, and from that, I was just hooked.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Like, I couldn't drop it. Yeah.
That'll do it.
That'll friggin' do it, man. Oh my God. And I'm curious, actually, in your situation, like having such a great day. And then, you know, because eventually you're going to, as a young kid, you're going to hit that day where it's a tough bite and it's not happening.
Oh, yeah.
That must have been soul crushing because you're like, where's the 8 fish? Where's,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Know? Oh my God.
Yeah. I think my dad was smart enough where we fished with shiners for a long time.
Yep.
I think he was trying to avoid that day.
Yeah. No. It'll work. It'll help.
Yeah, it definitely did. But eventually I started watching the Bassmasters and stuff. And I was like, Dad, we got to put the shiners down and like we gotta get into this.
Yeah. Throw some artificials.
And we did. We bought a John boat and
nice.
From there, yeah, it just spiraled.
Now, what about the tournament side of things? When did you guys discover that you had a competitive streak for fishing?
For me, it was high school. I used to fish in the Mass Bass Federation, the youth trail.
Yeah.
So I fished big boat tournaments throughout high school, and I friggin' loved it. And then I couldn't really. It was hard for me to find a club after I left high school because I was still so young. So and I went to college for a bit, but once I picked up a kayak and I started watching YouTube videos, I saw the KBF stuff and all that. I dove right into that.
Nice. How about you, Pat?
Same for me. Actually, my first tournament, I didn't do any tournaments literally up until Massachusetts Kayak Bassin 3 or 4 years ago. I forget.
All right.
Same as Anthony as far as watching YouTube videos. And once everything was so available on a computer and you can literally search anything you want, watch it. It was like, oh my gosh, I got to get a kayak and do this. This is awesome.
Yep. That's awesome.
So yeah, that was it for me.
Awesome, man. That's the way it works. I love it. Now, where are you guys as far as like confidence baits and techniques? Like where are you most comfortable where if you got to get it done, you know you can get it done?
You can go first, Anthony. I don't have a lure. No, I'm just kidding.
Up until recently, I loved junk fishing. I loved flipping and pitching and that type of stuff. But the past year and a half, 2 years, I really dove into like electronics and fishing out deep. So when I start struggling, I look to my electronics. I go try to find some humps and something offshore, and I just spend all day out there.
There you go.
Yeah, for me, it's a jig.
Yep.
If I got to get bit, I'm throwing a jig every single time. If I'm not throwing a jig, I'd rather be throwing a big bait. I love throwing big baits. I throw them to a fault. But, but I love throwing them. But a jig is where it's at for me. If I got to catch a limit, I'm throwing a jig.
Hell yeah. It's funny too. You mentioned big baits, and I was just listening to a podcast with a pond, an aquabiologist, and Shan O'Gorman is his name. And he was talking about throwing like big baits, and, the topic came up, and he's like, you would be shocked at like how often you can get bit throwing a sizable bait, and not having to necessarily downsize, continuously. I guess it's got more to do, I think, with comfort zone or where you're willing to go. But no, it's
I think that's how it starts off with everyone. For me, it was, I used to think an S-Waver 168 was a giant bait and 6 inches long. And then you start catching fish on that, and you buy a new bait that's 7 inches, and then you buy another bait that's 9. And eventually you're like, wow, that S-Waver 68 is like, it's like a little tiny toy bait.
Oh, it really is.
So little.
It's true. It's true. But I mean, it displaces water and gets, and gets seen, it gets caught. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's freaking awesome. That being
said, I've caught just as many 1-pounders on a 9-inch glide bait.
Yep.
The little ones.
Oh, yeah. They have no business eating something like that, but you're like, okay, I suppose, Yeah.
That always amazes me.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
It is. It's freaking wild, man. It is freaking wild. Sean, why don't you jump in here, man?
Well, the first question I have is, Anthony also mentioned his dad bought a boat. Was Patrick's dad also rowing that one?
No.
You guys buy a motor?
I'd be pissed if he was, because I wasn't in it.
We got a trolling motor. Yeah.
Good. That's good.
I didn't make the poor guy roam me around.
Excellent.
A week.
What do you, when Patrick, you mentioned jigs. So what are you throwing around for jigs? Like for trailers, just out of curiosity, you throwing like a flapper, you throwing something that's realistic craw. What are you throwing?
So I use a few different trailers. This time of year, I use one with a little bit less action on. I love the Baby D-Bomb. The Missile Baits Baby D-Bomb's an awesome trailer.
Yep.
I really like the Netbait pack of chunks as well. They have a little more action, though. I usually don't use them as much this time of year when it gets a little warmer. And then last year, I really got into the Somatis crawfish. I forget, it's like the mini slobster, I think he calls it. It's a 3.5-inch crawfish. It's just a more realistic looking trailer. It doesn't have much action, but those are really I have a bazillion trailers, and it seems like that's all I use is those 3.
Yeah. It's funny too, because you'll spot something, when you're out gearing up with, for replenishing, your stock of whatever you normally use. Something catches your eye, and you're just like, well, son of a bitch, that thing looks pretty badass. I've been fooling around a lot with the X Zone adrenaline craws.
Yeah, those are great. Look sweet.
They really do. They are like kind of like you said. They're a little bit more action. But one of the things that I have done is I've actually just trimmed off the edge, just that outer edge of the claw, and it gives it that more like chunk like. But I mean, you nailed it, man. I think personally, both the D-bomb and the baby D-bomb are probably one of the best creature baits that's available.
Those are my go-tos. I love them.
Yeah, and
they're always available, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So you can go on a Missile Baits website, order them, and you have them in 3 days.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they are. It's freaking awesome, dude. Let's talk as far as, traveling to fish. Have you guys traveled anywhere? I would say like outside of the New England area, specifically for the sole purpose of fishing.
I fished in Florida.
Yeah, you go first, Anthony.
I fished in Florida. I mean, I don't know. I go down there for the sole purpose to fish. My family might not, but.
Gotcha.
That's really it. Other than that, the only traveling I've done is EKF, which is great. I can't complain about that.
EKF's a great organization. It's cool that, it extends the area outside a little bit and gives you kind of that travel experience of being on the road, new water, big water, and tons and tons of anglers. That's awesome too. How about you, Patrick?
So I've done for as far as largemouth bass and like bass fishing and tournament fishing goes, it's like the furthest I've gone is saying EKF, New York. Yeah. It's probably the furthest I've gone. But I do travel for fishing at least once or twice a year out west to the Pacific Northwest. I love steelhead fishing. I love spay fishing, tying my own flies, all that stuff. So
that's awesome.
I travel out there with my brothers every year for steelhead.
That's awesome. Now, let's get into MAKB. And I mean, having now, the variety of divisions covering the entire state is kind of nice because you get little pockets of anglers that want to kind of keep as local as possible and not necessarily have to travel all over the place. Is there anything that you guys are looking forward to as far as this season? I know that you guys have all submitted all of the locations for all the tournaments already. Are there any bodies of water that you're specifically looking forward to?
I'm actually looking forward to all of them in our division. They're all really good fisheries.
Yeah. Nice.
I would say Lake Attitash is the one I'm looking forward to the least just because I suck so bad every time I go there, but it's an awesome fishery.
Yeah. Oh, well, and sometimes that can surprise you. You go somewhere where you're just like, shit, this just hasn't been my day, but then maybe you start to figure something out. So that's pretty cool. How about you, Anthony?
I'm with Pat. All of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm looking forward to the Nashua again. That place is interesting.
Place is awesome.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a different time of year than I've ever fished. I've never fished it that late in the season. It's our last tournament, but I think it should hit pretty hard. I'm just excited because I've fished the East for the past 3 years and I don't get to pre-fish for most of our stuff. So a lot of these lakes, when I show up tournament day, it's my first time there. You know what I mean?
That's tough.
So I'm breaking down the lake as I'm trying to fish a tournament, and it's so hard. Yeah. I mean, you can do it, but it's so hard.
Oh, sure. It can definitely be done, but you're right. You've got that extra, amount on your workload that you've got to do. You've got to try to figure out so much as quick as possible, plus keep your head in the game,
Exactly. Yeah.
And you just described the impetus for me asking Ken years ago, can we start a Western division? Because even though I know a lot of the lakes out towards the Cape, towards the Cape, not even some on the Cape, but mostly towards the Cape, I didn't have the time to drive 2 hours to pre-fish every day for 3 days in a row. I had to go off what I knew.
Yeah.
And then you get to that East Division and it's a wood chipper. Yeah. I mean, you got Ken, you got Brundle, you got Matt Conant, I'll even say you got Nate. Nate will like hearing that. You got Nate Shagnon out there. Every now and again,
you're welcome, Nate.
every now and again he'll drop shot something up nasty and whoop your ass in a tournament, but it's a rough place to fish. But then on top of that, when you're not local and you can't spend the time pre-fishing, it's difficult.
Yeah.
So having the other divisions has been awesome. And I will see you guys, hopefully, as long as you have spots on the Nashua. That's going to be one of my, hopefully, 2 out of division AOY shots that I'm going to take. That one, and I'm going to try and get on Webster. I don't know what the turnout's going to be. It's early in the season.
We know a guy who knows a thing or two about Webster that can help you out.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Couple apparently.
Dude. But yeah, you guys put together an awesome schedule, and like I said, I'm going to be looking forward to hitting the Nashua. I have a friend who lives out there, so I might even be able to spend a day pre-fishing, get out there, hang out at his house, and do my thing out there. So
I think the MAKB record was set by Bruce last Nashua tournament. I forget how much it was, but it was like
102, 104, 102, something.
Did it really? I hadn't heard that from Bruce multiple times.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
He earned it, man.
He did. No, that was a hell of a bag he put up. And then Nelson made a run at him last year and just missed by an inch or two at
the Connecticut.
one of the Wishakems.
Oh, cool.
Yep. That was an excellent tournament where I fished for 4 hours, said, I've got a concert tonight, went and slept in my truck.
That's right.
Good. That's leading by example, folks.
Yeah. There you go. You do what you got to do. I think you nailed it though, Sean, talking about like pre-fishing, because it's one thing, like you do know a lot of those ponds that get fished on the Eastern Division, and but it's one thing if you're going out there and it's April or May, but you've got to fish it in October. You might not be so familiar with what's going on that time of year. So there is a little bit of a luxury of at least being able to go within that season and get familiar with what the hell's going on. Even if you're not catching them, you can kind of figure out like, okay, well, at least I'm finding some fish here. We'll figure it out later. Gives you an idea of what
it looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what am I dealing with?
You get a new laydown that's come down like, in the spring and you're fishing it later. That thing could be stocked, they could be stacked up all over that place on that, but you're not going to know about it unless you can get out there in advance. So no, I think pre-fishing is definitely a huge, huge deal. That is awesome. Let's talk as far as like, so this is, what Jigs and Bigs is famous for. We're a fishing podcast, but we also talk a lot about food as well.
Nice.
And, I've always said from the beginning that you can take just whether it's an amazing day and celebrate it with a great meal, or take an absolute garbage day and drown your sorrows in a great meal with some friends. Like, in your area where you guys are fishing most of the time, let's say either one of those situations happened, where's the local mom and pop greasy spoon where you're going to have breakfast afterwards?
Well, breakfast. I'd have to pick right here in Georgetown, Nikki's Roast Beef's where I'm going.
Oh, Nikki's Roast Beef. Okay.
Super three-way with all day long.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I think I've heard of that. I want to say maybe like on Instagram or something. I've seen something pop up before. And of course, it's a roast beef joint, so people are going to tag me like crazy.
Oh, it is good roast beef sandwiches.
That you can't go wrong there.
No.
Cannot go wrong. What about you, Anthony? What do you think?
Well, breakfast is tough because good day or bad, I'm on the water until 2, 3 o'clock.
Yeah,
so I'm going to say I pound my head in. I get it's probably unhealthy to do that, but I sit there and I pound my head in until I can't take it anymore.
You got to do what you got to do,
Yeah. So there's a place in Haverhill called the Hidden Pig. That's probably where I end up afterwards. Grab a couple beers and some chicken and call it a day.
There you go. Not bad. I can get behind that. See, I've got a little file going in my my Apple Notes app, and I'm taking note of all these areas, and I'm going and looking them up with directions so that when I find a fishing spot, I'm like, oh, we're right near this one spot. Let's go and check it out.
Nice.
I love it.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. There's the gears are turning. The gears are absolutely turning. Now, what about this is always a tricky question when I ask kayak anglers specifically, but there is something that I think that folks that don't kayak fish regularly really would never understand. Kayak fishing with a group of people is its own social sort of event. Like, you might not be right on top of one another, fishing the same spots all the time, but you're going to cross paths here and there, and there's a different sort of camaraderie that happens on the water. So with that said, and I'm going to modify this question a little bit for kayak fishing, if you could take a day that's absolute hot garbage, but when you're with the right group of people, like when we were over at Buffinville, Sean, we were with a great group of people. The fishing sucked, but we had a great time. And a lot of that had to do with
usual at that place.
Yeah. That's what I've been hearing.
You guys just don't know it that well.
I've been hearing a lot of that.
I've spent so much time on that place. I can't figure it out.
But like you can save a day if you're with the right people. If you could put together the specific group between the two of you guys to go out with kayak fishing for the day, that would just improve it. Whether they are known to fish from kayaks or they're brand new to it. So like you want to take, you want to take like Bill Dance and go like, yep, here, jump in this Jackson Nar and let's go to it. And he's going for the first time. Who would you want to take out on the water with you?
Oh man, I'm gonna let you go, Anthony. I gotta have to think about that.
God, there's a lot of people, but if I'm gonna say one off the top of my head, because I think he'd be a riot, it's probably Mark Zona.
Oh my God, Mark Zona would be awesome.
Zona would be a good one.
He'd be so funny, man. And I grew up watching him, obviously Bassmaster and stuff like that. I still watch all his YouTube stuff. He kills me, and he's a great fisherman on top of it.
100%, yeah. Zona, yeah.
He's awesome. Zona would be the man, dude. I wish you didn't pick him. That's awesome.
But they could be famous. They could be people you actually know. Think of this as like your ability to call somebody out. If you got a friend of yours that you're like, hey, let's go kayak fishing. Trust me. And they're like, no, I'm cool on the bank, man. I don't need to fool around no plastic boats.
Yeah. I honestly would pick, to be honest with you, some of my best days, maybe this is corny, maybe it's not, but some of my favorite days ever kayak fishing were with just hanging out with Bruce and Anthony.
Yep. Oh, there you go.
I would pick those guys all day long.
Yeah.
Like they're two of the greatest guys in the world to spend the day out on the water with in a kayak.
Anthony's over here like shit. I just said Mark Zona.
I thought you made it sound like we were picking someone like
you can
crazy.
pick anybody you want.
Well,
and if you've got a short list, that's fine too.
I do agree with Pat though. We catch a lot of slack for it sometimes, but
for sure. It's these are the things that come with the territory,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love it, guys. Do either of you guys listen to music while you're fishing? Like whether it's, whether you separate tournament or anything else, like, when you're pre-fishing, anything like that?
I've never tried.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pat.
I don't know. I know Nate, like he'll be out there listening to his headphones on. Like I am not like, there's no way I could focus with the music on or anything else. Like I can't focus as it is. So it's like I have to just be in my own zone.
I hear you.
I can't have music going.
I hear you. I've realized that the headphones are a bad idea. I have changed over to using a small Bluetooth speaker and just like playing something. And I like to use it as a reminder. Like if I need to fish slower, I'll listen to slower music. I've created playlists about that. I do the same thing like when I host trivia. Like if tonight, I have a playlist. Like I've got 2 shows back to back. So I'm going to have them going so that tiny little bit of background music that's playing will kind of keep me, up, moving from the next question to the next question, on. And I use the same thing with fishing. Like if I need to keep it in my mind to slow down, I'm going to throw on, some old
Lionel
slow
Richie.
blues Zeppelin or something like that, or the Dead, But if I need, to get out of my element and power fish and really like just burn baits, Meshuggah, that's what we're going with.
Yeah.
Something like
Bobby,
that.
I thought you were really jamming out on Collective Soul with Macho Man Savage.
Oh, that's also that's the hot new single. So we'll have to see if that works out this year. That might actually make for a great like hook set compilation background.
That would be an awesome hook set compilation.
Yeah. It could be awesome. So if you're not listening to music while you're on the water, what is it you're listening to get hyped up on your way?
Man, I'm not like a hyped up kind of guy. I'm literally talking to myself the whole way there.
Yep.
Like I have no music on. Like I'm literally
that's not a bad thing.
Talking out loud of what I think is going to happen and what my game plan is.
That's not a bad thing. You can manifest things that way by saying them out loud.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
sometimes you just need expert advice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How about you, Anthony? Where are you at?
I'm all over the place, honestly. It depends on the day.
It's not a bad thing.
How I feel when I wake up.
Yep.
On the
You got
water, I
Taylor
really
Swift
don't
on
do
that
much.
last tournament.
What's that?
Were you jamming Taylor Swift that last tournament?
Which one?
Yeah, which album?
No, which tournament?
I'm a fan of all their hits.
Dude, I love T Swift.
Yeah, I know you do.
You can't go wrong. You know, you and I are never getting back together.
Ever.
Looking to set, yeah. But yeah, it's good to mix it up. You know, it's healthy. You listen to the same thing too often, it gets stagnant, you know?
Yeah.
You're right.
No.
You're right.
I freaking love it.
As far as on the water goes, though, I can't. I've tried it. Like Patrick said, it kind of just, my mind starts to go 20 different directions when a kick comes on, so I can't. If I really need to slow down, I call my dad, and he usually tells me to calm down, and it works.
That's good.
It works.
That's a real good thing. Nice. That is freaking awesome, man. Let's talk bucket list spots that you would love to fish. Like, where have you not fished that you're looking forward to getting on the water?
You go ahead, Anthony.
There's a lot of places for me. I'd really like to get down to Texas at some point and fish Lake Fork.
I was just thinking about that today.
Texas is
one.
Yep.
Texas is definitely like my number one, I think. And then I'd also like to do it one of those guided trips down in Mexico. Those look awesome. It seems almost unfair. It seems like everybody who goes down there catches their PB, but I mean, it's just like, come on.
I can tell you from experience that going on a guided trip is not a sure thing.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
I can 100%. It's fun. It is amazing. I think it's one of the greatest ways to enjoy a body of water if you've got a limited amount of time. If you've got, if you could dedicate 4 or 5 sends out on the water, do it on your own, go for it. But if you've got to chalk it up to, hey, we're going to go and fish on this day, this is the day, it is really, really, really fantastic to have somebody with experience bringing you around and checking it out. It's so funny too. You mentioned like Texas and Lake Fork. I just saw a video today on Falcon Lake, and I'm like, man, like that's a body of water it's right on the Mexican border, you know, and it is like, it's kind of a great place as far as like the legend of bass fishing, you know, really kind of nails it. I just sent a text out today to a couple of friends like, hey, we should go and do one of these trips. Let's do a little collab, put something together, make it fun and interesting. And I think that is a great way to get experience. And then also like go back. Like I fully intend on bringing my kayak to Chickamauga, you know, and going, and, you know, I only know that one launch that we came from, but I've you know, now I've kind of looked enough at the map and figured out this one area, so it's a good place to go. And also like knowing a great place to stay and all that kind of helps make it become a reality.
Of course. Yeah. No,
that is freaking awesome. Yeah. I think you got to have that list of spots that you want to hit. Like I think Sean is kind of lucky because he's lived in so many different pockets of the country and he's got experience. Like I remember the first year of the show. Was it the first year, Sean? Was that the first summer that you had gone out to the Midwest and you had gone to Mille Lacs and you had to deal with like fucking goose poop and shit? Like
that was the first summer I took the kayak out there, a pedal kayak. I mean, I've been going out there for 20 years.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I had my truck and a boat. So I actually drove from my in-laws house to Mille Lacs, which is about a 45-minute drive. Yeah. And that was now it wasn't a goose poop. It was a fucking cormorants.
That's what
cormorants and pelicans. It was horror. It was like fishing in hell.
I remember that. That was like bad. It was the first year of the show, though, I think. And that was wild, man. And that's like the like that kind of shit. I think like you got to go for it. I was just another spot. Like we made some friends with Abay Lures. They're right in Alexandria Bay. It's a great area. I'm like, yeah, we should absolutely do a send up there. Dress as pirates.
That's a great lead in. Anthony and Patrick, will you be fishing the EKF this year? And will you be dressing up and dodging drunk pirates on St. Lawrence this year?
Yeah.
All right. You guys saw that post, right? You understand what hell is descending on us?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I'm actually considering, I know Joe and I kind of were joking around about taking his boat up there, but I am really, really considering going up there, getting a drone and like shooting some footage and putting some really, really good jigs and bigs shit together with all of these pirates all over the place just for shits and giggles. just to
It's gonna be wild.
capture it.
It is. It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
Bananas. I freaking love it, man. I love it.
Are you guys planning on fishing any other outside of your division within MAKB events? Are you fishing any West events, any East? What do you guys got lined up?
I'm definitely going to. I haven't really decided which ones. I was actually thinking Webster's like you were, but with it being the first tournament of the year, I didn't really want to butt in on anyone else's tournament yet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just figured let them get their opener done, and then I'll look at into everyone's schedules. But
Dave,
I definitely want to hit one or two.
It's on your schedule, though. I mean, if you can make it and you can't make another one and you want to shoot for that overall AOI, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know the deal, though. Those first 2 tournaments of the year, if you don't sign up in 60 seconds, you're done. Like, you're definitely not going.
Yeah.
At least to fish the tournament.
That's a real good point.
They sell out so fast.
Yep.
But yeah, I've never fished for bass in Western Massachusetts. So I would like to come out and fish a couple of those. Definitely. I'm definitely fishing the Charles, which is I believe the East has the Charles.
Yep.
That's probably, I don't know, something will come up where I have time and I'll look, and if something's available, and there's spots, I'll definitely jump in, but definitely out West and for sure the Charles. I love that river.
Well, if you're a river fisherman and you want to do the Western, anything out West, keep an eye on that Connecticut River one.
Yeah,
us,
I got to get out and do that because I love river fishing. So I got to get out to the Connecticut. I've never fished it.
Yep.
What section are you guys doing?
The northern section. So the 2 launches we got are Northfield and Barton's Cove. So that area, basically around Turner's Falls, but it's good.
Yeah. I might be up there for that one.
Largemouth and smallmouth in there. A lot more smallmouth, but the largemouth up there aren't small.
Yeah.
Can you win it on smallmouth, do you think?
I did last year.
Nice.
Yeah, you can. Definitely.
Yep.
All right.
You can limit on.
Awesome.
Yeah. That the Connecticut River is so funny because there are so many people who have never fished it in this area, but it's got like an unbelievable, it's probably one of the best fisheries for Western Massachusetts, you know, connecting Vermont and Connecticut like that. It's freaking dynamite, you know?
Funny enough, when I fished big boat tournaments in high school, I fished there out of Barton's Cove.
Oh, all right.
So
on our way back in, the kid that was in the boat with me had a tough day. I killed it. He had one fish, and we pulled up to this last spot. He throws a spinnerbait out, and his rod just buckles, dude.
Oh.
And he was railing it in. And that water's really brown. You can't really see much. I see this giant green flash. I'm like, oh, he might have lunker here. This is a giant largemouth. He gets it in, dude. I swear to God, it was like a 21-inch walleye. It was huge.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. So the boater's like, you should eat that. You should keep it. So the kid's like, all right. He throws it in the live well. We get back to the weigh-in, and I'm putting my fish in the bag. He goes to grab his fish, and the walleye had his bass head first down its gullet. It ate it in the live well. So he had nothing to weigh in. I felt so bad, but it was so funny.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow. I'd believe it though.
Not only that, he got a recommendation to eat anything out of the Connecticut River. That's smart. Oh,
yeah. I don't know that I would eat anything out of the Connecticut
Has
River.
he sprouted a third arm yet?
I don't know. I haven't seen him since.
Oh, all right.
It's full of PCBs. You don't want to eat anything out of the Connecticut River.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. But oh my God, I could 100% see. Wow, that's got us. At least it was his fish. Imagine how pissed you would have been.
Oh, I would have been. Yeah, I would.
Oh, it's like, well, at least I got something to weigh in. Sorry, Aunt. You know, these things happen.
Nope, just dinner.
Damn.
That's awesome. Do you guys fish the Connecticut up as far as like the Deerfield River where that comes in and stuff like that, or is that too far up?
That's going to be south of where the tournament is.
Okay,
but I have yes.
I only ask because I have caught a lot of smallmouth wild trout fishing in the Deerfield, some big ones too.
Where the Deerfield spills into the Connecticut is not very much of a trout. It's not really much of a spot at all. The Deerfield is incredibly shallow right before it dumps in. I'm talking a foot or less.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, that whole northern stretch of the Connecticut River is great. There's tons of walleye in there, which is nice. And then, the smallmouth bite and the largemouth bite are both good. Plus, there's pike in there too.
Yep. I mean, the river's got it for, species for sure. And I think the furthest north I've ever gone up was, I think with Tim Jakes, I think I had gone up into Hatfield. Was about as far up as we had gone. But I know that where that Barton's Cove area, that area around Turner's Falls has a reputation for just being a fantastic place to fish. Regardless of species, whatever you're looking for, that they can be found.
Heck, that sounds awesome.
It's good stuff. Friggin' love it, man. I love it. There was a couple of questions I did want to run past you guys here. Oh yeah, this is one of Sean's favorite ones. And it's got to do with if so let's say Sean and myself are headed out your way. We're in the white Jigs and Bigs van with the Wizard mural painted on the side. Metallica's and Justice for All is cranking out the windows. And we're flying up in your area, and you guys can take your tackle boxes. That's fine. You can take any lures, any presentations you want. But as far as combos, we're going to go to a local tackle shop, and you're going to buy and put together a combo: rod, reel, and what are you going to throw on there for line? So if you could build one combo that you could confidently fish with, what would that be?
That's a tough one because I use so many rods in one day.
This is why I like asking this question, because it's like, wow, I wonder, what would you do
for this area?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be an unnamed lake in this area. No idea on the conditions.
You could be going into weeds. You could be going into rocks. You could be going into timber. What are you going to do?
I'm going to say probably a medium heavy baitcaster, about 7.2, with a 7.2 gear ratio and 17-pound test.
What kind of line?
Fluoro.
I just took you to swamp. We're going frog and you're fucked. And I'm laughing from. I mean, the Jigs and Bigs.
Oh, man.
Like that.
I'm a piece of shit.
I am too.
How about you, Patrick? What are you thinking?
I'm going to, very similar to Anthony, I'm going 7.3 medium heavy, baitcaster, 7.1 to 1 reel. Probably 20-pound test.
Yeah.
20-pound fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, you got to fish what you're confident with,
Most of the stuff around me, at least in the north here, we have very few rocks. If you can find a rock in one of our lakes, don't tell anyone about it.
Yep, a lot of wood.
It's all mud and grass.
Oh, okay, all mud and grass. All right,
and tons of wood.
Yeah.
I mean, endless laydowns and docks.
Yep.
But I would probably, I would love to say it was a frog and rod, Sean. I would love to say a 7-foot heavy with straight braid. But
we're laughing. Bobby and I are laughing from the van. Van suddenly smells like a dispensary, and you guys are flopping around with fluorocarbon in the weeds. We're just laughing.
Yeah. I actually flip and pitch the weeds with fluoro. I don't use straight braid.
I do
the only
too.
thing you really use straight braid on is a frog.
Me too.
If I'm flipping and pitching, even in heavy timber and grass, I'll go up to 25-pound fluoro, but
yeah,
I just can't bring myself to have that dark green line attached to my hook.
Yeah.
My 2 cents on this question is always this, similar rod and reel combos like you guys just mentioned. But I always say if I don't know where I'm going, I have no idea what's in the water. So let's say if I have to fish weeds, fluoro, and I mean on the top. If I'm throwing a frog, a fluoro ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
No.
If you have to throw a crystal, if it's a crystal clear lake, you know what I mean? Braid probably for me ain't going to do it, right? So I always go with the worst of both worlds and just say mono. I'll go with 17-pound mono, and that'll do the job for pretty much everything. It won't be the best at everything, but it definitely won't be have that drop. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents on that question.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever used the new that Pro Mix stuff they're selling now? It's like a mix of fluoro and mono.
Yeah, is it a fluoro core or something like that?
I haven't looked into it enough.
Yeah.
But every time, I just went and picked up line last night, and I was looking at it at Dick's Sporting Goods. Does it float? Does it not float?
Is it a copolymer? What is it?
I think it's a copolymer.
Yeah, it is.
No, it'll sink. Copolymers sink.
just slower than fluoro?
I'll bet you it is slower than fluoro. If it's got mono, in the mix at all, I'll bet you it does slow it down. But still, it's like a lot of that comes down to the weight that you're throwing out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You throw a 3/4 ounce jig, it's sinking pretty fast.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like, there's
what your line is, it's going down.
Yeah, that line, that's what's going to help it down is the weight of that jig. But yeah, it is. It's crazy. It's funny. Like you're talking about, pitching and flipping and even if I'm punching like mats, like cheese mats, the line that I'm throwing really doesn't necessarily make a difference. Like if I can, I'll throw a braid so that I can cut it up if I need to. But if I don't have, if I've got another presentation, like if I've got a frog on that rod already, I'll leave it and I'll just do it with fluoro, and I'll just suck it up. I'll just be careful, Getting a 1 ounce piece of tungsten flying back at you is not fun, but it's the price that we pay.
Me.
Oh my God.
It literally terrifies me because I can't not set the hook like it's a freaking 30-pound bass.
Yep.
Like I'm setting it every time.
I had a big jig come back at me and hit me right in the chest when I was on Chick. And I was like, for a second, it was like, there was a meme that I saw that was like 4 different images of like the different stages of having a lure come back and hit you. And it was like, it was so accurate. I was like, oh yeah, I was like 2 and 3, I was a little bitch. And number 4, it was hilarious. And number 4, it was great. I'm curious about this too, because I just shared something that was it this morning or last night where, great little, anybody who fishes from a boat at all, but specifically from a kayak will appreciate this. If you're out there and, you get some, what's that term that we use here on the show? Oh,
lake lice.
And you have some, if Kyle comes ripping at you in Dad's Wave Runner, right? And I just shared this video, and it was a wreck boat. Actually, it wasn't even a fishing boat. It's a wreck boat, and there was a woman sitting up on the gunnel of the boat, sitting up there on the side, and Kyle comes by, zipping by in a no wake zone, and splashes everybody in the boat, right? And then fast forward later on, edit all that time out. They go back and Kyle slammed the freaking Wave Runner into
I saw that
somebody's
video
dock.
last night, actually.
Oh God, it was like it's just beautiful. I think it was Adam Blomeke that sent it to me, and I had to reshare it. I was like, this is too goddamn good. Like, do you guys have any? Like, what's your worst horror story where you were like, oh, I wish I did have a 1 ounce flipping rig set up so I could just give it a cast across the lake and take them out?
So honestly,
go ahead, Anthony.
I don't have one of my own, but when we went up to Lake Oneida last year, we drove all the way up. We caravan with a bunch of people, and we got to the launch. It looked like an ocean. I mean, the rollers were ridiculous.
Yep.
That was insane, man.
Me, Pat, and Bruce look at each other. We're like, you want to do it? Yeah, sure. We go out. We're fishing. There was a bass boat tournament the next day, so they were launching there, too, to come out and practice.
Yep.
And I think me and Patrick were, 20 yards from each other maybe. This bass boat came through in between us.
Yeah.
At 60 probably. And he cut so close to Patrick. When he passed by, I did not expect to see Pat anymore. I really didn't.
Oh, yeah.
So I've never had a close call, but watching that close call with Pat was like, oh, my God. If I could have pegged that dude off the head with something, I definitely would have.
That reminds me of the time that Sean and Nelson and myself, we brought our kayaks out onto the ocean. This was a first time for me. And there was a spot where there was this outflow from a power plant. That was a power plant, right, Sean?
Yeah.
Spot that came out, and this just where the currents kind of lined up, it was like a washing machine. It was ridiculous. Add to that the fact that we had like insane winds that day. And it was just, there were moments where I was just holding onto the bottom of the seat of my kayak. And I'm just like, holy shit, let's just hang on to the boat, And it was wild. But the wreck boaters do not give a shit. And they've got the systems to know that you're there way, way, way in advance, but they don't care. So there would be this wake that would come across. And at one point, I basically was looking down at the water, just holding onto my seat like, holy fucking shit, I can't believe. Like I wear a lanyard with my scissors when I fish, and I saw it lift up from me like that. I was like, oh my God, like a fucking roller coaster. It was the most terrified I've ever been in my boat. Now I go out and the winds are like beyond like what I thought I was comfortable with before. I'm like, this isn't shit. It's crazy. I'm like, this is nothing, you know? Yeah. Oh my God.
The ocean will give you a new perspective, Bobby.
It definitely does. Holy crap.
Does. Last year on same tournament, Anthony, it was tournament day on Oneida, and all of us went our separate directions for the tournament day, and I had gotten out to my spot like 10 minutes or so before we could fish. And so I just had my motor down and was in spot lock, just sitting there looking around, and a bass boat, one of the tournament guys that was fishing, I believe it was the cash-in rods tournament that was there. He had kind of come in on the same submerged point that I was fishing, but was like, whatever, like, who cares?
Yeah.
And he starts fishing, and literally my second cast, I landed a really big smallmouth, and I measure it, I let it go, and he literally reels up. He did 2 complete 360s on like plane around me and then left.
Holy Jesus.
Piece of shit.
What
I called him so many terrible things. Actually, at one point, I think I literally was like, stop your boat and come over here.
Yeah.
I was so pissed.
That is ridiculous, right? That's just a perfect example of some dude being an absolute piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just being a child.
Yeah, just being, like, come on, be an adult. Grow up.
Yeah. He could have just kept fishing and he might have caught something there.
Imagine that.
Literally.
Imagine that shit.
Throughout the whole day, every one of my fish eventually all came off that same area.
No kidding. Well, that's good.
Where did you guys, what general area did you guys launch from in that tournament? Were you down by me? I launched off the south.
No.
What was the name of that launch pad?
I don't remember the name of it, but it was on like the north, like almost like north central, or like, if anything, a little like the North Shore, but maybe a little to the western side.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the launch. It was a small launch.
It was a nightmare of a launch, to say the least.
And it was tough because it was into like a really narrow little chute off the lake. And so, and it was full of wood. So you kind of had to paddle a little bit of the way out.
Yep.
So you didn't rip your motor off. And then once you got out, it was fine. Nice. But it was nice because where we launched the first day on the south side, it was like you couldn't get out of the submerged grass. Like there was so much submerged grass that it was like impossible to fish.
Yep.
And then on the north side, it was the exact opposite. It was like it was like Lake Winnipesaukee almost. It was just like all rock, clear, beautiful, wicked nice.
Yeah, that is pretty freaking crazy. That's awesome. Oh,
right on.
All righty, boys. Well, why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners where they can find you on social media, if they're interested in finding out more about MAKB and the Northern Division, where they can find out if any info that you guys have, like when your first tournament is, anything like that. Great opportunity to go ahead and promote yourselves.
Go ahead, Anthony.
As far as social media goes, on Facebook, it's just my name, Anthony Campbell. I'm really active on the MAKB Facebook page, so you'll see me post there if you need to find me. If you don't have Facebook, you have Instagram. I go by Big Country Bassin on there. I'll answer you guys, whatever your questions you have, even if it's not about the North. If it's just a general question, just let me know.
That's awesome.
That's really it as far as social media goes for me.
What about any plugs? If you guys have any plugs, you can include those too, as far as like sponsors that you're working with or anything like that.
Unfortunately, I don't yet.
Not to have sponsors.
Yeah.
Shit'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Yeah. It comes in time,
Yeah.
We're all in the cult of Ken. That's what we're in. That's our guiding light. Let's just bask in the light of Ken and we're good to go.
Yeah. And shouts out to him, man. I mean, he put together a great thing and it's just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I can't thank him enough for, this is one of the greatest trails I've ever fished by far,
Yeah, Ken's
one of the most competitive.
Awesome.
I mean, you think about the level of some of the guys we fish against on a routine basis. They're freaking incredible bass fishermen.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, like Sean said earlier, you get into that Eastern Division and it is like a wood chipper, but if you're new, you shouldn't be scared of it. If anything, for me, I think it's made me a better fisherman just fishing against these guys and shooting the shit with them afterwards, like they're great guys. They'll talk about things with you when you get back to the ramp and all that stuff. So
yeah,
it really is a good experience, whether you get your ass beat or not.
Every single one of those big sticks that's in that Eastern Division that I've met has just been unbelievably cool.
Yeah.
You know,
every tournament since I started there, even when whether it was my first tournament or the last one I fished last year, everyone that fishes MAKB that I've met, every single one of them, whether they're a hammer or not, anyone in that parking lot will help you unload your kayak. Anyone in that parking lot will give you some baits if you're missing whatever you like. They're the nicest people ever. The tournaments are super competitive. If you want to win one of those tournaments, I would suggest you start practicing.
Yeah, bring your A game.
But literally bring your A game for sure. But that being said, every single person in that tournament, whether it's in the North Division, the West, doesn't matter. Everybody is there to be your friend, to help you, to talk and shoot the shit, and just be psyched to be hanging around other bass fishermen.
And I think that's the thing about MAKB that makes it so special in comparison to, so many other trails, is just that level of community is way, way more upfront. Not saying that like other trails don't have that camaraderie and stuff like that, but I don't think anybody puts it as much in the forefront as MAKB does. And that's a really good thing, because community these days, we're running out of that shit, For sure.
We
totally are. So it's really, really good when you can like network with people, and, you can form like a really good group of not only fellow anglers, but friends, Yeah. That's a good thing.
I would have never met Anthony if we didn't fish bass tournaments for them MAKB. It was a random pairing doubles tournament at the beginning of the season. I was like, oh, who's this guy I'm fishing with or whatever. Like,
and look at you now.
Yeah.
If we lived 2 towns over, we would have never known. You know what I mean?
Yeah, isn't it crazy? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Patrick, what about you for socials as far as like
social media? Yep. Facebook's just my name, Patrick Brown. I'm also pretty active on the MAKB site on Facebook as well. So definitely any questions, you can hit me up there. Instagram, it's PJB Custom Flies. I post all my fishing stuff that I do over there, whether it's tying jigs or fishing or whatever. But yeah, that's really about it. I'm super psyched for the North Division. I wish we had more people sign up for the North, but at least we won't sell out of every tournament right away. So that's good. Well, there's always going to be a spot for people.
Exactly. You'll pick people up as it goes on, and that first season and then the next season, and you'll see the growth. It'll all start to come together.
3 of our 6 tournaments are road runners too. So we have 3 big rivers in our division this year. So I think that'll bring a bunch of guys in too.
Definitely.
And you guys just keep doing what we said now twice during this interview about the community and really building within your division and making sure that people A, know they're getting a fair shake on a tournament, and B, know that it's not a blood sport here. We're going to hang out afterwards, grab a drink, talk bullshit, whatever. You'll see your numbers go up. And honestly, from what we've been talking about with Ken, your numbers for the North were bigger than what we started with from the West. You know what I mean? Like you guys are already a leg up on that. So don't sweat it. Yeah. If you're not selling out every one, like I was worried about selling 5 or 6 tickets to every event. Yeah. You guys look like you're at least going to be in the 15 to 20 range, right?
Yep. Yeah, they do.
That's awesome.
I think the rivers will be up there too. I think the rivers especially will be like the Nashua. I know a ton of guys can fish the Nashua.
Oh yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
I'll be up there for that one.
Be there. So I got my butt handed to me the last one, but how it goes.
Yep.
I love it, fellas. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for doing this, guys. This is awesome. We're looking forward to an amazing season for all the divisions of MAKB, but we're especially looking forward to seeing what's going on with the new ones. And we'll keep in touch with you guys. I'm sure we'll see you around. I love it. Awesome, guys.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Have a great one.
Take care.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye. Oh, boy. It's another amazing episode of Jigs and Bigs. We're here. We're glad that you guys are here. We're glad that you guys are listening. We're glad that you're one of those 80,000 freaking plays that we've had in since the show's gone on. That's amazing. Thank you guys very, very much. We appreciate that. That was a great interview. It was good talking with Anthony and Patrick. Those dudes are pretty awesome. We're gonna make some plans. I'm sure we'll go and fish up in their neck of the woods at some point. And when we're gonna end up there, probably in the fall. I got a feeling it's gonna happen. Maybe we'll just relive the Cape Send. And we'll do the send with those dudes. We'll just go to Max and, maybe we won't even fish. Maybe we'll just go out and eat a bunch of seafood, like a bunch of degenerates.
I know it's tough during the week, Bobby, but do you follow Max on Facebook while we're talking about that?
I don't follow Max on Facebook. I should follow Max on Facebook, but I don't.
Do you remember when we went, I was very upset that one item had been removed from the menu and had been for some time.
Yeah. Is it back?
They brought back the clams pizza.
Really?
It is fucking back, but they only do it on Thursday nights.
Really?
So I know I'll be vacationing, I think, on the Cape this year for a week.
Yep.
I will be slamming clams. I'm also going to Max to get a pizza.
You're a clam guy. It's all you do is eat clams.
Clam slammer.
I'm a clammer.
A clam digger.
I love a good clams casino style pizza. You're talking like clams and garlic and bacon and like that.
I don't even think they don't put the bacon. It's just straight up. It's a sauceless, like a white pizza.
Yep. It's like a white pizza.
Clams and cheese, baby. They had a clams casino with all the other fun stuff on there.
Yeah.
And I looked at the picture of it and it was just clams.
No shit.
I don't give a fuck. I'm a seafood guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We've talked about this before. I have nothing against a good steak and nothing against a piece of chicken.
Yep.
But if I have seafood, I'm taking that over both.
Yeah. No. That's understandable. Understandable. And they do it right. They do it right up there. Speaking of food, one of the things that kind of occurred at the Mohegan Sun show this weekend was, and I remember this, I mentioned this to Bill and Ken while I was at the booth. We started talking about Hoodlum Fest. Now, last year's Hoodlum Fest was amazing, and apparently, we did a lot of learning last year. That's one thing that we both kind of said. We're like, obviously, there was a lot of shit that we didn't really go over as far as details necessarily. And we learned and we have kind of a good idea on the way to do things. Well, apparently the demand for Hoodlum Fest is going to be absolutely huge. And one of the things that I don't know if it was Ken or Bill had mentioned was the idea about it, making it more or less about the party, about the get together than necessarily too crazy with any fishing or anything. So I think what we could do is carve it out and come up with some plans. And I told Bill, I was like, listen, guys, if you could just allow me to step in and put together a timeline, let's go and we'll put, we'll make sure the dots get dotted and the T's get crossed and everybody's happy. By the time we get to the end, it'll be a good thing. And here's the thing. There's talk about possibly opening it up to the public.
Oh,
yeah. And there's a few things that we got to talk about. And this is where this comes into a food discussion. Wild Bill straight up hit a bitch with, and I don't know if this is because he's doing all that running and he's got all that clarity, but he was like, we should just meet up at Bar Taco and have this conversation and come up with a good plan. And I'm all about it. I think we should all go, meeting of the minds, have a great time, put something together that's absolutely amazing and huge. It'll be a whole lot of fun.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll start working on it. Should be soon, though.
Yeah, I think absolutely. We should try to get together within the next couple of weeks. And then we'll nail down a date. And then from there, we can meticulously go through all the details and work it all out. Because I would like to organize some type of fishing outing on one day, just dedicated to fishing. I'd also love to be able to have people, organize lodging nearby. So we can say okay, so this is where this is going to go down. This is here a handful of options for you guys to choose what you want to do for lodging, Mm-hmm. I think it'll be good. And then the food component, the one thing that I mentioned this to Bill, I said, the one thing I'd really like to do is, last year was awesome, but we had a whole group of people that had to basically hang out outside by the grill and to cook. And we had talked about this, Sean, before. And luckily our digestive tracts and the mileage that we've put on our vehicles around this area, we've put enough miles in. We've done the research already, so we could partner with some amazing food trucks and give a great sort of wide array of food options that could be really cool. And in fact, I may have even mentioned something already to a certain someone, a certain special someone who might want to be involved for this because it just makes all the sense in the world.
We got 3 lined up, ready to go.
We got 3 ready to go, like right out of the gate. Yeah.
Just a matter of scheduling.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, we can figure out a date. We'll figure all that stuff out. The other thing too is this, is I had mentioned before, I would love to do Jigs and Bigs game dinner, and it's going to happen. It's going to be happening in November. We gotta iron out a date. We even already have a venue. We just have to iron out the date, the menu, and then start putting it together. It's going to be a Jigs and Bigs live with a game dinner. We might even have some live music. I mean, this could be a whole lot of fun.
Perfect.
That'll be awesome. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. I would love to start doing, maybe this year isn't the year to say, hey, we're going to go for this certain number of live shows, but maybe next year is the year.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll pick a couple to go and say, hey, we're going to partner right off of this. We're going to spring off of this, maybe doing something as like an after party after the sportsman show is a good time to get that first one done in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It could be a good way to do it, but we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. What else do we got? Oh, hold on a second. Oh, Loaded Potato just gave us some gold. Worst hotel for him was in Roswell, New Mexico. Say less. Bed was so bad I went back out to my rig and slept on the floor with no sleeper. That's rough, man. That says a lot. Because it's not even a flat surface, is there? You got like a curve in there. Like, well, maybe you don't. I don't know. That's rough. At least there were no bed bugs, though. Chrissy says that's what I like about Chrissy. She always looks on the bright side of life.
Roswell, I'm a little less worried about the bed bugs than I am about anal probes.
Anal probes, yeah. Anal probes in Roswell. That's a big deal.
Aliens.
Yeah. Well, I think that about does it for this week's show, guys. I hope you had yourself a good one. How do you guys feel about it? What do you say? How many stars would you rate this show?
Out of how many stars? What's our rating?
I'd say out of 5. Yeah, out of 5 stars.
Obviously 6.5.
Clearly.
Are you kidding me?
Clearly. Absolutely. I love that.
I do have one thing.
Hit me with some funny shit, Joe.
I do want to talk Abay for a minute.
Oh, yes.
Fuck, we forgot bait of the week.
You forgot bait of the week.
Well, hold on.
Pieces of shit. Oh my God.
Hang on.
Good thing I'm fucking here, guys.
Let's do it the right way, okay?
Jigs and Bigs. Bait of the week.
I got too crazy, man. I went right with the drums. I did. That's on me. I'll take it. It's on me.
You hit those. No, it's all of us. We all fucked up. That's all right. Here we are.
And then Fish in the Stick says probing. Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's right. We all just got probed. Memory loss probes right there. They went up the wazoo. Good job, Joe. Yes, Chrissy's applauding you too. Well, I'll start because I got there first.
Yes.
I put it in order with Abay after our last meetup at the Springfield show, right? Yep, the Springfield show. Talked with Chris and Christina. Got the got what I wanted down and said, here's what I'm needing. And it was not a small order. All of it ready for me. Chris said, what do you think? I said, holy shit. Now I actually made it a little easier on him because I'm like, I know you got a lot of shit to do. Just go ahead and give me these lures without hardware. I got the shit I need at home. We'll take care of that. So I did get that, and I'll be throwing my own hooks on. I'm not super picky about it. Usually I'll replace 1 or 2, but whatever. I just said leave the hardware off. So I have a tackle box full of, between jerkbaits and crankbaits, pretty much every model you can think of that Chris took care of me. I'm not going to get into what pattern, and I'll be designing another one for them based on kind of my specs and my favorites, and Joe's going to talk a little bit about that in a second. But I'm blown away at these lures. I am blown the fuck away at the quality and detail and the honestly, the artisanship of these lures.
Yeah.
Chris, Christina, thank you so much. And I want to mention one other thing about them. They had some lures on a rack, and you guys are going to be hush-hush about this. I should have given you a heads up. They had some lures on a rack, definitely some different lures, some weird wake baits, some unusual size-shaped lures.
Yep.
Themed. And I saw one of them, and I said, we collaborate, or we have someone in the circle of trust here that would enjoy this lure. I said, hand me this lure. I will get it to this person. And I think they will enjoy it. We'll put it from all of us.
Oh, yes.
And we're going to have some fun with it. Yeah. So That happened. Stay tuned, folks. We got a little more coming up.
Okay.
Later in the afternoon on Friday, Joe arrived and said, I also put an order in and designed a lure. And Joe, take it away.
Yeah. So for those you don't know, I've been kind of working with Abay Lures since I met Chris and Christina at the Springfield show. Kind of came up with a deal here, and I was like, hey, I want to promote you guys. I put them on my jersey for the tournaments. And I just love their shit. Like, and again, like I've said before, the great thing about, Chris's lures is he doesn't use those shitty, like Chinese random blanks that, they look awesome, but they swim like shit. He uses the blanks that we use. He uses the Rapalas, the Spros, all those different crankbaits. But I had an idea. I was like, hey, listen, I have an idea. Here's my vision. And basically this is what he came up with. I said, hey, I want to call this thing the Freedom Gill. Being a veteran, being patriotic, I want to do this. But at the same time, a big color I like to use, especially in the spring, is red. I was like, what can you do? And he came up with this. And this is the final product of the Freedom Gill.
That thing looks awesome. So,
America.
Yeah. So, and it's got that red to use, for the spring for me. But the best part about this is they're going to be, this is, Joe Brown's signature bait. And at the end, this will be available on their site at the end of April when they get that up and going. But if you want that anytime sooner, I'm actually going to, for those of you who are listening, I'm going to put a picture of this on my Instagram, American Vet Fishing, and you can see it, and you can reach out to Abay Lures and order this at any time, but it will be on their website come the end of April. But check it out on my Instagram. When I throw up that picture, reach out to me if you need to reach out to them, and we'll get you this bait. This is just phenomenal. Let's get this thing ordered and come check and just throw it out there.
That thing looks fucking beautiful, man. And
I love it. He literally, the vision I had, like it was like he was reading my mind. It was exactly what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking. And I absolutely just love, even the eyes. I just love everything about this bait. I can't wait to throw it. I only haven't tied it on yet because I wanted to show everybody. So tomorrow this bitch is getting tied on and ready to go.
Hell yeah. Hold on.
Fuck yeah, man. Looks gorgeous.
Hell yeah, brother.
Now, Bobby, you talked about what you got earlier.
I did.
Is there anything else you want to throw in on that? Because I have something that we all got that we really need to make mention. And
I was waiting on that. I was actually holding off. Yeah.
You want to hit it or me? Because
why don't you go ahead and lead into it?
Well, I want to plug somebody that we've never met and we don't know, but Abay, they're friends with them. For all I know, they're carrying Abay stuff. We want to throw a shout out to Thousand Island Tackle Store because we got some of their koozies and stickers. And they are so smart because they are Thousand Island Tackle Store. Yeah, my koozie's downstairs, guys. I don't have mine. Yep, tits. Thanks, Bobby. Bobby's got my koozie while I'm talking. And they simply have stickers and koozies that say tits on them. TITS.
Thousand Island Tackle
Store. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. What can I say? Huge fan. Huge fan.
When
huge fan. Bobby,
go ahead.
I think we're all huge fans of both.
Yeah, definitely a huge fan of both.
Both the stickers and the koozies.
Yes.
Hey, another thing, if I can mention about the Freedom Gill, just so everyone in this, I can't believe we forgot this, but the big reason why I'm pushing for everyone to go and get this, the Freedom Gill, is all proceeds go to the Wounded Warrior Project.
Oh, dude, that's even better.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah, all proceeds go to Wounded Warriors. And so just, it's an awesome bait that you should have, but it's also, it's for a good cause. So let's do it. Let's get them ordered up.
Hell yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
What's going to end up happening is that Chris's hands are going to be like permanently stained red, white, and blue. And he's just going to be like, it's all I'm doing, man. It's all I'm doing.
I need a break, guys. You're working me to the bone.
Yep.
Oh.
And we should make mention too that Chris, just like Joe and myself, is also a veteran.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we got
this hit home for him, and he was like, obviously, this is a no-brainer.
Yep. Good shit.
I love it. Nice. Yeah, Abay has really, they kind of have you covered, man. Like, it kind of kills me to think that I'm going to throw a bait as beautiful as this in the water, but I'm also absolutely going to throw it in the water because I have such a strong feeling where this is going to get munched. And being that we just got stocked with a bunch of rainbows, strap on the feed bag. Let's go.
And brownies.
Yep. And brownies.
Yep.
Those brownies,
killer, man.
Another whole situation. Awesome, guys. Well, what an amazing show. I mean, I think this was fantastic. I would say, well, we got a 6.5 rating out of Sean. What do you say, Joe? What's your star rating for the show?
Yeah, I would say out of 5, it's probably 6 or 7.
I was going to say, now that we finally got the bait of the week in there, I think that it probably makes sense to make it at least a good solid 7.5 to 8. But then again,
I saved it, guys.
You really did. Wow, what a bunch of fucking dumbasses. I can't believe that. I can't believe I did that. I am a moron.
Bobby, maybe during editing, you could throw in something just right before the drums and just put like the brakes on and go, hey, we completely forgot about bait of the week. Please stay tuned for the end of the show where Joe, who was drinking, remembered it.
It's true.
Just so everyone listening knows, I'm still on new co-host probation, and this may have just saved my podcast career.
This did. You did.
I really did.
This took big steps to you taking that next career advancement and starting to mop things at our houses.
Right. Cleaning toilets.
Yeah,
it's true. Joe, do you watch It's Always Sunny at all?
Oh my God!
Okay.
Yes.
So you know when I'm talking about the episode where they come into a pretty large amount of cocaine, and it's from the mob, and Mac goes to the mafia guys, and he's trying to fit in with the group, and they give him a nickname. They call him like Pussy Hands, and they're like, "Hey, go wash my car, go clean the freaking toilets, go do this," and he goes and he gets a tracksuit, and it's like powder blue. It's just a mess. That's sort of the role that you're playing right now. Sean and I are just shoveling cold cuts into our mouth at breakneck speeds. The charcuterie is on point, is what I'm getting at. And
I'm a Jigs and Bigs prospect. I'm so like, if you get into the motorcycle gang world, I haven't gotten the full patch yet. I'm still a prospect, but I'm getting there.
You got heart. You got heart.
Bikes, kid.
You'll be at that table big soon enough. My goodness. All right, guys. That truly does about surmise our program. I'm glad we were able to get bait of the weekend. Good Lord, man, that would have been terrible. But we appreciate you guys listening, tuning in every single week, giving us a listen on your podcast platform of choice. Please, if you have a moment, take some time and go and give us a rating on your podcast platform of choice. Leave us a review over at Apple Podcasts, or rate us with a star review on Spotify. Make sure you're following us over there on Spotify. That number is climbing. More and more of you are following us on Spotify each and every week, and that is pretty awesome. So we appreciate that. That pretty much about wraps it up, guys. We're going to have ourselves one hell of a few weeks going in here. If you haven't signed up already for Chronic Trips, do it. Download the Fishing Chaos app and make sure to search Chronic Trips. Sign up, get into it. It's a great way to enjoy. And like I said, I think for that 420 bonus alone, I might sign in just for that.
420 bonus. All you got to do is catch a nibbler.
Anything,
all good.
Anything will do.
Fucking nibbler, bluegill. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. I really do like the Chronic Trips because it does push me to get out and go fish hard, fast, like right away, early in the season, you know?
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
I love it. Well, all right, guys.
I love fishing in the sticks comment. I'm a 5%er. Not a 1%er, a 5%er.
There you go. I love it. All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We'll see you guys next week for more Jigs and Bigs goodness. Thanks so much for listening. We appreciate you guys. And like we always say,
tits and ass, smoke some grass.
right, guys, Bobby Roast Beef. It is the morning after we recorded this podcast. I am going to record an Easter egg for you guys because I love you and I want you to have something humorous here. So a little backstory. I mentioned that a close friend of the show had told us about a stop they had made into this interesting, quote unquote, little shop in the Niagara Falls area. They thought that this was like some kind of a head shop and that there were like, interesting, like, cannabis materials and things like that in there. There was like one rack apparently of like water bongs and pipes and such, and everything else was a bunch of adult themed toys and items. And like I said, somebody had mentioned in this encounter that there was a theater in said location. And our friends to the show had suggested that I, Bobby Roast Beef, go ahead and go through some of the reviews of this place. So the name of the place is Talk of the Town. And it is in Niagara Falls. Now, I'm going to read to you a review and a string of comments that originates in 2019. So this goes back some ways. I'm going to do my voice as the voice of the original poster, and I will narrate. We're just going to have some fun. We'll just see how this goes, okay? So initially in October of 2019, a guy named Tom recommends the bookstore Talk of the Town. And his review says, I've met some very interesting people here. Always action here is what he says. And Sam chimes in and he says,
well, how interesting.
Tom follows up and he says, erotic, sensual, sleazy, willing, hard, soft, CDs, women, unbelievable. And it gets a like. It gets a like from Sam. Sam likes this. He's excited by it. Sam says,
But is it safe?
He then follows up by saying,
feeling safe is big. It's important for me.
Tom follows up. He says, it's totally safe and as private or not as you want. Some guys like to play in the booths with the doors locked. Others love to play while others are watching. And then a gentleman named Charles chimes in and says,
I love to, but I'm scared. I want to watch and then join. We can do that in the theater.
Tom follows up and says, I'll be there during lunch and on Friday evening. Charles chimes back in. He says,
Tom, talk to me. Text me at beep, 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 beep.
He actually leaves his phone number in here. Feel free to text Charles. Sam then chimes in and says,
too scared, LOL. Or perhaps I'm too excited. Maybe Tuesday.
Katie chimes in and says,
Tom, I can never find anyone in there now. 2002. It's always empty. Are Friday nights the best nights? How does a woman connect with someone in there? The movie nights used to be so wild. I can't seem to catch a good night to find that anymore.
And just for reference, I want to throw out that this comment, all of the other comments were left 3 years ago. This one comment from Katie was left within this last year. So apparently we know that times is tough, that the gettins is lean in Talk of the Town, Manuel chimes in.
Are gay men welcome?
Tom chimes in and says,
yes, it's man-to-man action here. Once in a while, a couple will enter, but believe me, it's gay/bi, man-to-man action. Some CDs and TS action.
Tom follows that up with a little brief synopsis, and this was only within the last year. He says,
Fridays are still pretty good. It's coming back. Some couples will show up, and like always, they have as many men as they want or can handle. It's just a lot of fun. Be prepared to see open, raw, dirty sex out in the open. A very allowing atmosphere. As of late, I see some consuming weed, but nobody seems to care.
I think we have a new stop that we have to make when we travel up to the Niagara Falls area again. Enjoy that.